The excitement of the Old West lives again at famous Ghost Town. One admission price covers all the special live features in the Mile High Fun Park, too. Ride all the rides as often as you like. Bring the whole family to Ghost Town. See the live performances by talented entertainers. Every minute is action-packed. And remember, one admission price lets you see all the live shows and ride all the rides as often as you like. For the most exciting days of your life, take the Incline Railroad or chairlift to Ghost Town in Maggie Valley, North Carolina, where the fun goes on and on and on and on.
On September 10th, WTVK will join CBS. Now for you, that means all the respected CBS news programming like 60 Minutes, West 57th, Sunday Morning with Charles Kuralt, all moved to WTVK TV 26. The news center is also expanding with a half hour of news at noon. Then each weekday at 5:30, a complete hour of local news anchored by Hal Wanzer and Alan Denton. It's a partnership committed to more news. The News Center and CBS News, together on WTVK.
I'm Bill Huntley. I mined coal for 25 years. Used to be, I could hardly get to these mountain streams. But now, hey, I go hunting, fishing, and best of all, I get to enjoy time with my grandchildren. The Black Lung Clinic has been a big difference in my life. The clinic counselor helped me with my health benefits. The clinic even helped me stop smoking. I just take better care of myself. Come on, Scotty. Let's go downstream.
Contact the Black Lung Clinic in your area. You'll breathe easier.
Carson Newman in Fairmont State this afternoon on WTVK. We also want to welcome our viewers across the country on the AXE television system. And also want to welcome into the booth this afternoon Joe Schultz. Joe, last year walking up and down the sideline, Joe, I don't know if you're going to be able to adjust being up here sitting down.
Well, I won't get as much exercise, but it'll be a much better view from up top, getting a chance to see what's going on across the entire field instead of having to sit and look over the players, which is a little bit difficult at times last year.
The captain's meeting in the center of the field. This will be a different Carson Newman football team. It's going to have to take on, Joe, I think, a different personality. All the talk has been about Kenneth Tyson not being in uniform, and I think Ken Sparks kind of gets a little bit upset when people talk about that, because a lot of things Kenneth did last year himself overshadowed the performances of some of the other players, particularly Alvin Thomas, who had over 900 yards himself. And it will be fun to watch how Carson Newman develops its personality this year without people like Kenneth Tyson and Pat Johnson in uniform.
Coach Sparks said it himself. There are no home run hitters this year, and it's going to be a lot more balanced team. They might even throw the ball a little bit more, and you'll see a lot more versatility. Alvin Thomas and, of course, the other backs, Vernon Turner, will get a lot of playing time, a lot of work, too.
They're the officials: Sam Owens, Dana Hennett, Hubert Holcomb, Ronnie Brazil, Ira Cave, Robert Roberts, and Steve Castleberry. Their job to keep these two teams within the rules. Carson Newman has been a much penalized team in the past, probably because of their offensive system. They do a lot of they run a lot of offense without huddles. They did a lot of that last year against Fairmont State, and we expect the Eagles to do that again today. Ken Sparks looking for his 70th win here at Carson Newman. Wally Hood at Fairmont State.
His fifth year.
Yeah, has an overall record of 25-15, although his entire record combined 74, 54, and 3. Sparks 69, 26, and 1 here at Carson Newman. The two teams met again last year at Fairmont State. The Eagles won there 42-21, a day when Kenneth Tyson got 250 yards on 9 carries, and that was in the first half. But Fairmont State, for the first 30 minutes, Joe, played with Carson Newman. And the Falcons have a very interesting offense, a wing T type of offense, where a lot of times you'll see one back behind the quarterback, and they'll run all kinds of people and pass routes and all over the place. So it should be a fun ball game to watch, and it's going to be a challenge for both defenses, I think, today to see if they can stop the other team's offense.
Offense will be a problem for the Carson Newman defense this week. Last year, Carson Newman won the game, but still had a lot of problems with the defense, with the Fairmont State offense. Couldn't control them, couldn't keep them inside, so they're going to have to work hard at that tonight, this afternoon, actually. And of course, then Carson Newman's offense, led by Edwin Lowry, the sophomore quarterback, he is going to have to do a little bit, maybe more throwing, and have to control the offense a little bit more than he did last year, because there is no Kenneth Tyson, and they're going to have to. This is going to have to be more of a team effort for the Eagles.
Fairmont State won the toss. The Falcons will take the football first and defend the south goal. As you look down onto the field, we're looking left to right now, and the right side of your picture is the south side of the field, and of course the other side is the north. An overcast day. We haven't had a day like this in East Tennessee, Joe, in quite a while. An overcast day, temperature probably somewhere in the mid-70s, a slight breeze, very comfortable day, and should be a good afternoon for college football if the rains hold off.
We're encased in kind of a glass booth within the press box. I kind of wish we could open the windows and get some of the breeze, the little bit of breeze there is out there, get it in here and cool things off a little bit.
There's Rob Arnold deep for Fairmont. He'll start at halfback for the Falcons. Rick Wetzel will kick off for the Eagles, a sophomore out of Kingsport. And we are underway. All right, we'll reverse now to Lang. Lang's got some room along the far side, and Lang is pushed out of bounds by Joe Fishback at about the 43-yard line. So right off the bat, the Falcons with a little dipsy-do, and they've got a first down at their, well, they're going to spot it at the 41-yard line, where Fairmont State will take over 1st and 10.
They made things difficult for the Eagles last year. Start out right now like they're going to do it again this year.
There's the offensive system for Fairmont State. Actually, starting at quarterback for the Falcons will be Burson. Well, no, Stolniker's in there. They said Burson was going to start, but Stolniker is in there, and he's going to look to throw on first down. And Stolniker gets down to about the 45-yard line before
he was rolling out.
Brewski Cellini.
He was rolling out looking for his receiver coming across the field, but Sammy Dixon had good coverage and had to take it up the middle a little bit and didn't get what he wanted, I don't think.
Stolniker is a freshman quarterback out of Glenville, West Virginia. Second down for Fairmont, about 8 yards to go. Pitch on the right side to Arnold, and Arnold breaks free into Eagle territory down to the 47-yard line or so. Mike Schlechter, the senior free safety, steps in to make the tackle. And Joe, 2 plays and 2 pretty good pickups for the Falcons.
They did get some yardage on that play, but Mike Schlechter, he is one strong man. The way he hit him when he came through the line right there. Here we look at the replay. Stolniker pitches out to Arnold, and Arnold makes his cut up the middle, gets his block on the outside, and just beats Schlechter head on. Schlechter, I don't know who won the battle. I guess Arnold, he got the yardage.
First down, a loose ball perhaps. The Eagles say they've got it, and they do. So Fairmont State turns it over. Leroy Mitzi on the recovery for Carson Newman, and the Eagles have it at their own 44-yard line.
First game of the season, I guess coaches kind of expect turnovers and mistakes early on. I know they're not happy to see it, but I guess you kind of expect it at times.
So Carson Newman, without a huddle, we told you they might do that. They did it last year against Fairmont, had some success. And Alvin Thomas, on the first carry for the Eagles, fights out to about the 45-yard line. Alvin Thomas, number 30, a senior from Rockledge, Florida, 5'10", 216, over 900 yards last year, but nobody knew who he was.
Now when you're behind Kenneth Tyson, who gets 18, how many did Kenneth have last year?
Oh, I don't know, 8,000. Who knows? Vernon Turner on the carry gets a couple of yards.
Fairmont State trying to get a little enthusiasm, trying to keep Carson Newman from getting the momentum by not using a huddle.
Borovic makes the tackle for Fairmont State. The Eagles will have it 3rd down and about 6 now. Vernon Turner does not get the first down, although he does get into Fairmont State territory at the 49-yard line. By the way, Tyson had not quite 1,900 yards last year rushing, almost 2,000.
It's tough when you gain 900 yards on the ground and nobody knows who you are.
4th and a couple for the Eagles. Brent Hall will punt, but not until after the Eagles take a timeout. A timeout I'm sure Ken Sparks did not want to take. Lower part of your picture down there, that's Chad Sparks, number 5, with his father, the head coach, Ken Sparks. Let's go down to Jamie Tucker right now. Jamie?
Okay, Stan, the Eagles running the ball 3 straight plays. Last year, Edwin Lowry passed for less than 1,000 yards. That's the only team in the SAC 8 that passed for less than 1,000 yards. Don't be surprised if Coach Sparks is trying to lull Fairmont State to sleep. Maybe second possession, come right out and throw the ball a bit more, maybe even go for the bomb.
All right, Jamie, we've been talking earlier to Mike Turner this week, Joe, and Turner said they do want to try and throw the football some more.
They only averaged passing last year, I think maybe 10, if they're lucky, 15 times a game. No way. He said they had to pass it 20 to 25 times this year.
Lou Maben on the punt return. The Eagles all over him down at the 16-yard line where Fairmont State will have its second offensive possession.
Deep in Falcon territory, the Eagles get a little defensive stand here.
33-yard punt for Brent Hall, a freshman out of Cleveland. Didn't arrive into Ken Sparks' camp until August as a walk-on player. A penalty on the play against Fairmont State. And I'm assuming the Eagles will take the penalty and either get a first down. Do they have a first down? Yes, they do.
How's that for a defensive stand?
That's right. So Carson Newman gets a first down on the penalty. Bad mistake by the Falcons. 1st and 10 for the Eagles at the Fairmont 44-yard line. No score in the football game. We're in the first quarter. What a great catch. Well, now they say incomplete, and then there's also a marker down. One official ruled the catch was made.
It looked good from here.
Alan Cox on the receiving end. Joe, let's see if we can take a look.
It was a little behind the receiver, but Edwin does get it out there. They're still deciding whether or not he caught it. But no ruling yet. Alan Cox was the one making the catch. And there's a personal foul on the play, so Carson Newman gets a few more yards. Fairmont State, the third mistake, really, they made early in the ball game, and right now it's costing them some yards.
15 yards on the personal foul. Automatic first down for the Eagles at the 29-yard line. I'll try it again, and this time Cox makes the catch at the 19-yard line.
A little better throw by Edwin that time.
Cox, a junior out of Gatlinburg Pittman, and that time Lowry got it out in front of him a little bit.
Same play, basically. Fakes a dive and then just hits Cox going right up the middle, and no one's there. Easy pickup for the Eagles.
Not quite 10 yards on the play. 9, 2nd down and 1. And the new quarterback in there for the Eagles is Charlie Cole, number 4, a junior from Morristown.
Third time in a row they've run that play. They try to go the opposite way, and Cole has the same problem that Lowry had on the first toss, a little bit behind him, but 2nd down there, still got plenty of time.
Third down and a yard to go. Eagles easily get the first down as Cole keeps on the sneak. And so the Carson Newman drive continues now. 1st and 10 for the Eagles at the 18-yard line. And now Lowry will go back into the ball game at quarterback, and out comes Charlie Cole.
That's an interesting situation. Coach Sparks has to be pleased with having so many quarterbacks available.
Turner looking for room, not much there. Lou Maben, the safety, comes in to make the hit on Vernon Turner, number 23, a junior from Staten Island, New York, a transformed quarterback.
Vernon got outside and didn't see anything but white shirts, had nowhere to go.
Second down, about 6 yards to go. This time Thomas tries to get to the outside and cannot do it.
Maben was there again. He's following that ball all over the place. They try the same play again to the other side. Maben just steps up and makes the play. Hits Alvin Thomas right around the knees, and he's down.
Lowry looks to the sideline to get the play. No huddle. Eagles lost a couple of yards. 3rd down and right at 7 to go. Lowry's got some room to run it and is tripped up at the 12-yard line. Maben is there. DeSanyo is there, one of the linebackers, and an injured player down at the 20-yard line as Lowry comes off the field.
Lowry got a good block from Vernon Turner to get outside, but once he got there, his receivers were covered and had to run with it, didn't get anywhere. Interestingly, the great block that Vernon Turner made is on the injured player who, as you can see now, is not enjoying his time spent in Jefferson City right now.
The Eagles will attempt a field goal upcoming, and let's look at this one more time and see if we can pick up the injury, Joe.
Little rollout. Edwin comes out. Watch Vernon Turner make the block. Ooh, it kind of looked like Joe Theismann in '84 on the knee. Edwin comes out, doesn't see any receivers, tries to make a cut. Little juke and jive, can't make it. Goes down at the 12-yard line.
Now, this whole kicking chain for the Eagles will be different this year. The long snapper on the field goals and points after touchdown, Kenny Crook. He's a freshman out of Marion, Virginia. The kicker, of course, is Rick Wetzel, a sophomore out of Kingsport. And holding for the Eagles will be Randy Sturgill from Chilhowie, Virginia. Randy's older brother. Mike used to kick at Carson Newman many years ago. Well, not that many.
A lot of people talk about how Kenneth Tyson was such a big part and how his shoes are going to be hard to fill, but Wetzel's got a job cut out for him. With Louis Rebais gone now.
Right, still injury down on the field. Let's take a bit. We'll be back. No score in the first quarter.
The stars are going to shine. WTVK and the Knoxville News Sentinel bring you the Tennessee Valley Fair 7th Regional Youth Talent Contest. Friday, September 9th at 8 p.m., see the area's best young talent compete from the Tennessee Valley Fair live on WTVK. The first place winner will be invited to compete in the Youth Talent International in Memphis. From there, the sky's the limit. So shine like never before with the News Sentinel and WTVK.
Want to shoot a few hoops? Yeah. No way. Gotta go to work. Too bad. Catch you next time. Yeah. I could lay out of work. Nah, can't. Miss Hodges will never decide which melon to buy if I'm not there to help her. She's a sweet lady. And her granddaughter's a real fox. Mrs. Cunningham will need my help with the twins, too. When it comes to produce, I'm the man. Well, sort of.
Food City. Terrific service from people who really care.
All right, we're back at Brookdar Stadium. No score in the first quarter. Bill Benno, the injured player for Fairmont State, a linebacker. He's been taken off the field. The Eagles will now attempt a 29-yard field goal. Rick Wetzel will kick off of Sturgill's hold. And the kick is good. So the first field goal in the career of Rick Wetzel at Carson Newman, good from 29 yards out as the Eagles take a 3-0 lead, and it came, Joe, after a fumble recovery.
Yes, it did, Stan. And Carson Newman came right down the field and got into scoring position, got some breaks with the Fairmont State team that had a few problems. I think penalties at one point, and as you mentioned, the fumble. Carson Newman took it right in. When they got down into scoring position, they really couldn't get it in the end zone. They got blocked up on the outside a couple times, but were able to get 3 points on the field goal.
Well, the Falcons had them stopped and forced Carson Newman in a punt formation, and Fairmont was guilty of an infraction that gave Carson Newman the football back, and the Eagles got it down a little closer to give Wetzel an opportunity for 3 points. The injury, again, was to linebacker Bill Benno, and Joe, a linebacker, in Fairmont's scheme, their defensive scheme, is not the kind of person you want to get hurt.
Especially Benno. He was an honorable mention all-conference pick last year at outside linebacker. They have 4 linebackers to carry the load, and not a lot of depth at that position.
Much deeper kickoff this time, but Arnold's going to bring it out. Faking the reverse. Still pretty good yardage on the kickoff return. All the way out to the 35-yard line goes Rod Arnold. And so again, off the kickoff return, Fairmont State will have good field position.
The difference there, Stan, on the first reverse, the Eagles were faked out. They all went to the other side of the field. On this particular play, everyone stayed at home. It just so happens that there were a couple good blocks that enabled Arnold to get some yardage. A good block coming up on the outside, and he gets up to the 35-yard line.
Misdirection handoff. Bo Dunn, the fullback, gets the carry and gets out near the 40-yard line before he's tripped up. Leroy Mincy in on the tackle for Carson Newman. The Eagle offense surrounding their offensive coordinator, Mike Turner, on the sideline. Pickup of about 4, second down 6, Fairmont State. At its own 40-yard line, the Eagles leading 3-0 with a little over 9 minutes left in the first quarter. Larry Johnson at fullback on the carry. Fred Bennett makes the tackle. Bennett, a transfer out of Tennessee.
He is going to be a good one if he steps into his own this year. They expect a lot out of him. Of course, coming from Tennessee, where he was a starter at one point. Now Carson Newman, Coach Deaton, said that he has potential to be one of the best that's ever played nose guard.
Fairmont now faced with 3rd and about 4. Play fake. Stolniker looking downfield, and he's going to get wrapped up for a loss at the 37-yard line.
Good coverage by the Eagles on that play. Tom Wicks there to make the tackle along with Bruce Ghisolini. They had it covered on all angles. Little rollout by Stolniker. The Eagles go with him. Pulling guard is there, but Wicks gets in between him and makes the play.
Moon with the kick for Fairmont State, and David Poole has to let it roll down to about the 20-yard line, where the Eagles will take over on offense. Poole, a junior out of Cincinnati. He, too, a transfer from Tennessee. Outstanding season last year. After the roll, 43 yards on the punt for Gordon Moon, a junior out of New Cumberland, Pennsylvania.
The Eagles have to go a little bit farther this time. 79 yards, technically, 80 yards.
Without a huddle again. Vernon Turner on the carry out to about the 26-yard line. DeSanyo there to make the tackle. Turner at 178 pounds, not quite as stout as Thomas, who's gained about 15 pounds in the offseason at about 215, 216 right now. Second down, about 4. Lowry works the ball complete to Mark Johnson, and Johnson with a nice advancement of the ball after the catch into Falcon territory. Mabin, the safety, makes the tackle, but not until Mark Johnson gets down to the 47-yard line.
The Eagles have already thrown the ball in more times in this game than they have in entire games last year. A little rollout here by Lowry, getting his men in front of him, and he sees Johnson open, and then Johnson does it from there. A great move to get back to the inside, fake out the player, and he gets a few yards.
Meanwhile, back to live action, Alvin Thomas. The Eagles very, very quick on the play, and Thomas burst through to about the 22-yard line. A marker was dropped at the line of scrimmage.
Another hurt player for the Falcons, Mike Atkinson, limping off the field. But a good gain by the Eagles. They're going to have to bring it back, though. The call, motion.
So that'll back the Eagles up 5 yards. 1st and 15. The Eagles back in their own territory now at the 47-yard line. Alvin Thomas takes a breather, and Fernando Hamilton in at running back. Coming back the other way, Dylan Klein, the tight end, makes the catch and gets up to the 41-yard line. So I guess Mike Turner's, he wasn't lying to us, Joe. He said they would like to throw it 20 to 25 times. And when he said that, I really didn't believe him.
They said it. He said it. Now, you have to be a little skeptical, but it's coming true. They go a little opposite direction. Lowry goes back across the field, finds his receiver, Dylan Klein, and watch this block by Greg Greer. Well, we don't get to see it, but
Vernon Turner trying to ad-lib his way for a gain, gets perhaps one as he falls inside the 40 to the 39. Terry Boyd, the junior linebacker from Ohio, is there to make the tackle. And for the Eagles, it'll be 3rd down and about 1, maybe closer to 2.
That block by Greer, that's what every college football player dreams of, I think, just a chance to put somebody on their back. And Greer, when he knocked him down, was very excited, waving his arms and then standing over his prey, I guess.
I don't think the Eagles got the 1st down. They came out of the eye. Vernon Turner was a tailback. And I don't believe they made the 1st down. It'll be close. Lou Maben, the safety in that 3-deep secondary, makes the tackle. It's going to be 4th down for the Eagles, and Ken Sparks has decided to go for the 1st down, leading by a field goal 3-0 with just over 5 minutes to go in the 1st quarter. And now Lowry wants timeout.
I don't think he must not have liked what he saw. I don't think they were going to pass it there. I don't think there was any question that they were going to run it, but when Edwin stepped up there, he didn't like what he...
All right, well, still in the 1st quarter. 5:15 to go, and the Eagles lead by a field goal. Stay with us.
On the next Mama's Family, Mama's scrimping and saving for the stove of her dreams.
It's even got a deluxe grease spatter guard. I'll tell you, Ollie, you can fry bacon in the nude without a second thought.
So she's renting out rooms for the weekend.
I feel just like Connie Selica.
Well, I guess that makes me James Brolin.
But when the house is overbooked, is she in for a swinging time?
Now, did Conrad Hilton do it?
So make your reservation for laughs on the next Mama's Family.
Today at 5:30 on WTVK.
At first, any picture here would be a picture of pain and confusion. With time and care, the picture can change. This is a treatment center for children who are physically or sexually abused. Kids get help here. Lives are saved. I'm Mary Lynn Majors. John and I have seen the work of the staff here, and we know how much they help.
Please support the Helen Ross McNabb Therapeutic Nursery.
This is where they care.
On the next It's a Living, Ginger's running away from marriage.
Well, I couldn't give Jason what he wanted. I can identify with that.
But being footloose and fiancé-free isn't easy.
I forgot what the dating game was really like. I mean, it's risky, it's frustrating, it's unrewarding. It is time to give Jason a call.
Is it too late to patch a broken engagement?
He's with another woman. No.
Find out on the next It's a Living.
Oh, she's pretty.
Tonight at 1 on WTVK.
All right, crucial play in the Eagles series now. 4th down and 1 for Carson Newman at the Fairmont State 39-yard line. The Eagles lead by a field goal. And look at that. Up top to Alan Cox, and Cox has a touchdown. Yards to junior receiver Alan Cox from Gatlinburg on 4th down and 1. The Eagles have scored through the air. Who would have ever believed it? Rick Wetzel with the point after, and the Eagles jump on top 10-0. Joe, we got to look at this one more time.
Well, maybe Edwin saw something he didn't like and decided to take the timeout and thought about a pass. It was just the same pass basically they've been running all afternoon. Alan Cox right over the head of B.J. Kisner. Cox all the way in for the score. No problem whatsoever. 39 yards. And as you said, Carson Newman scoring through the air. Come on, what's going on?
Let's go down to Jamie Tucker. Jamie.
Okay, thanks a lot, Stan. Joe Schultz, yeah, what's the deal? Carson Newman scoring through there. One thing Fairmont State has, as you know, lost Bill Benno. Now, the trainer said that he's out with a strained knee. They're icing it down right now. He may be back, and he may not. Back to you, Stan.
All right, Jamie, 10-0 the score now with 5:09 left to play in the first quarter.
If they could get Benno back, that'd be a big help to them at linebacker position because he is one of their studs of the position this year.
Last year, the Eagles as a team completed just 84 passes in 14 ball games. Now, simple mathematics tells you that, you know, they didn't complete a whole lot per game. And they already have struck through the air today. Arnold with his third try at a return of a kickoff. Gets another crease, and Arnold out to the 35 to the 36-yard line where he's brought down. Joe Fishback in on the tackle for Carson Newman.
Something tells me Coach Sparks will have to talk to these players at halftime, figure out how to stop the Falcons on their kickoff returns. Just a lot of room for Arnold up the middle, and then finally the kicker has to make the tackle, and Wetzel puts him down at the 35-yard line.
Overton trying to get to the outside, gets pretty good yardage, about 6 yards. David Poole is in there to make the tackle. Overton about 7 yards on the carry, and again that Eagle offense surrounding its coordinator, Mike Turner, was offensive lineman for the Eagles back in the early 70s. 1972, as a matter of fact, when the Eagles played for the national championship against East Texas State. Harvey Martin and crew. Stallnecker in the air, cannot hook up with Bruce Lang, so that'll bring on third down. And while we're talking about national championships, Fairmont State back in 1967 was the NAIA national champion, so each program reaching that pinnacle at least once. The Eagles have, of course, have won 3 championships in the 80s. Most recently in 1986. Last year losing to Cameron in the championship game. Eagles get through to make the tackle on Arnold, who had wanted to throw it downfield. Joe Fishback gets through to make the tackle.
Arnold has some quarterback in him. He threw a couple passes last year for the Falcons, but didn't even get a chance to get that one off.
So Moon comes into punt again for Fairmont. David Poole back for the Eagles. Poole again will let it bounce. And it's down by the Falcons at about the 34, 35-yard line where the Eagle offense again will take over.
Gee, I wonder if they'll pass it.
Now, last year, most teams that the Eagles faced tried to punt the ball away from Pat Johnson. And Pat Johnson was slow compared to David Poole. Poole runs about a 4.3 40. One of the fastest players on the field, and he has yet to return a punt. Eagles again will go without the huddle as Lowry just works his way into the picture. Vernon Turner, short yardage on the misdirection play, gets a couple.
Eagles got a good balance, it seems, right now with Vernon Turner and Alvin Thomas, and then, of course, the passing game. That's kind of odd for the Eagles, and that's good for them because that's what they have to do this year, keep their good players balanced and playing well and not expect a big play by one person at any time.
Second down and 7 yards to go. On the play fake, Lowry trying to get to the corner and is wrapped up at the 35-yard line. Back to the original line of scrimmage. A loss on the play. Terry Williams with 2 tackles in a row. Good look at Edwin Lowry, the junior quarterback from Milligan, Florida.
Played in 2 national championship games. That's got to be certainly a thrill for him and something to look good on his resume.
Freshman of the year in the South Atlantic Conference a couple of seasons ago. 3rd down, Lowry to throw to the right side, and Thomas loses even more. So the Falcon defense steps in. Terry Williams again, his 3rd excellent play in a row, and another Falcon is injured at the 31-yard line.
Depth was already a concern for the Falcons, and I know that when you get injured players like that, it hurts even more. Linwood Tivis, the injured player. Wally Hood needs to make sure that he keeps his defensive line in good health because it's an inexperienced backfield, second crew. Lowry looks out to the side, gets Alvin Thomas, but Thomas doesn't see anything from there. Terry Williams is there to make the play, as is Tivis. Tivis is still down. No, you couldn't really tell what happened there.
Tivis, a freshman out of East Liverpool, Ohio. You always hate to see players injured on the field. Eagles have already conceded that they will punt when play resumes as Brent Hall drops back. And again, Hall, Joe's a pretty interesting story. He showed up in August and said, hey, I'll play, and he's now the starting punter. Was at Tennessee last year. Tivis is up now and leaving under his own power. That's a good sign.
I'm sure he'll be back.
Hall is just a freshman, and we were watching him, Joe, before the ball game. And if he can kick in the ball game as well as he did in the preseason, in the pregame warm-ups, Eagles will be all right.
We're about to find out. Picking up where Jim Bales left off last year for the Eagles.
Lou Mabin, the safety, is deep for Fairmont, awaiting the punt of Brent Hall. Not a very good kick, and Mabin will have a chance. And he works forward to about the 47-yard line, where Fairmont State will once again come out on offense. 28-yard punt for Hall, so I guess we put the hex on him.
Guess we shouldn't talk about him like that. I guess the Falcons do have good field position now. If Stolniker can get him moving. As a freshman, he stepped in and played pretty well, as if he'd been working with this system for a couple of years.
Come on, y'all. We're going to get behind this thing.
So far.
Noise up there. Come on. Go. Come on.
Overton on the sweep around the right side, gets into Eagle territory.
A lot of blue shirts over in that area, but nobody in on the play until they got a couple yards.
Mike Schlechter, the senior free safety from Belglade, Florida, who is kind of on his honeymoon, I guess. He was married recently.
1 week ago today. Happy anniversary, Mike.
Yeah, you too, Joe. You're not going to get out of this now.
I'm not saying anything.
2nd down, about 3 yards to go for Fairmont. Now the Eagles not fooled there. Alan Brown, that end, stays at home and takes down Stolniker to bring on 3rd down.
Little problem there for Stolniker. Bumped into a couple running backs and found himself all alone out on the right side and had to get what he could, but Alan Brown wouldn't let him get too much, stopped him for about a 2-3 yard loss.
Buford Perkins also in there, number 77, from Pritchard, Alabama, 320 pounds. 3rd down, Stolniker hooks up with Overton. It'll be close to a 1st down at the 43-yard line.
I'm calling it short.
Joe Fishback and Leroy Mincy in there defensively for Carson Newman. 30 seconds left to play in the first quarter. That's right. Joe Schultz was married a week ago today. Lovely bride, Chris, I'm sure back home watching the ball game.
Hi, Chris. I love you.
Well, we can't leave out Alvin Thomas. He got married over the summer, too, so.
It's been one of those summers. You either buy a new car or you get married. Funny things like that happen, I guess.
It's going to be a first down for Fairmont State, so the Falcon drive continues now at the Eagle 43-yard line. Fairmont State trailing 10-0. Eagles have a field goal from Wetzel and a touchdown pass from Lowry to to Alan Cox. Arnold around the left side. Met by Kevin Catlett and Bruce Ghisolini. Pickup of about 1. Arnold, a sophomore out of Kilbuck, Ohio, had 415 yards last year in his freshman year. That's the end of the first quarter. Carson Newman on top by a score of 10-0. Lots of college football left. Stay with us.
On September 10th, WTVK TV 26 will become partners with CBS. Respected CBS News programs like 60 Minutes and the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather will move to WTVK. The News Center is expanding with a half hour of news at noon. Then at 5:30, an hour of local news anchored by Alan Denton and Hal Wanzer. This fall, more from WTVK, more from CBS. Together, join us.
Party night at Steve's. All right. You're in charge of the food. Yeah. Uh-oh. $30. Gotta make a stretch. No problem. Cheese and crackers. Fresh veggies. Tons of chips. Dipperini. Shrimp and sauce. Gonna get my dancing shoes on.
Larry? Your change?
Food City. Terrific savings, great for parties.
On MASH, a visiting whiz kid has Charles completely depressed.
Play doctor with Skippy.
What's he got against me? Well, you're young, you're intelligent, and worst of all, you're right.
And Charles isn't the only one.
The boy surgeon got to you, didn't he? Just scared the hell out of me, that's all.
The sins of youth.
Ruined by a little twerp surgeon.
On MASH.
Monday at 5:30 on WTVK.
Well, 15 minutes of college football have come and gone. The Eagles lead 10-0. By this time last year, it was 14-14. 4 touchdowns scored between these two teams last year in the first quarter, but not so today. Only 1 on the board, and that was a beautiful 39-yard pass from Edwin Lowry to Alan Cox out of Gatlinburg Pittman, about an hour away, and a field goal from Wetzel earlier. So Carson Newman up by 10 points. Fairmont State in Eagle territory at the 42-yard line. 2nd down and 9. Stolniker in trouble, and he's decked by Alan Brown at the 46-yard line.
Stolniker had good protection out there. I don't know what happened. As he rolls out to his right, everybody comes with him. The blocks are made, but all of a sudden Buford Perkins comes in and forces Stolniker to go back the other way, right into the hands of Alan Brown to make the yardage loss, the tackle for loss.
Even Joe on slow motion, Perkins was moving pretty quickly, and again, he's 320 pounds. And Jim Deaton said if Perkins can play 50 plays a ball game, that's what they'd love to have, but they're not sure he can hold up that long.
Well, they told us he had great strength and good moves for his size, and that's
a little quick kick by Arnold, and Schlechter is there and turns the corner, and he's got some room, but is pushed out of bounds at about the 26-yard line. Schlechter returned punts last season along with, well, he was the up back, but he was back there last season with Pat Johnson, and Eagles were not fooled at all.
Falcons decided to get rid of the ball. Schlechter downfield to pick it up. When he got outside, it kind of looked like he might have had an alley, but Mike, who doesn't normally, at least this year, return punts, decided not to try and go for the touchdown and stepped outside. And Eagles have it now on the 26.
Lowry on the option keeps himself and falls to about the 29-yard line. Carson Newman leads this series with Fairmont State, 2-0. Lowry again to throw, and he's got Cox for a first down at the 39-yard line.
The passing may have caught Fairmont State off guard a little bit. The Eagles are able to move the ball pretty easily by switching up the run to the pass. It hits Cox out in the flat for a little, about 10-yard gain.
Another first down for the Eagles. Lowry again will keep. Marty Owens, the backup safety, is in there to make the tackle.
It's a hole that filled up pretty quickly for Edwin as he tried to cut back inside, and all of a sudden 3 white jerseys were right there.
On second down, Lowry wants to throw, and again he'll keep short of the first down to about the 48-yard line. Lowry last year gained a little over 300 yards rushing on 156 carries. Looked like he had a seam at first, Joe, but then it closed up on him.
Well, when Edwin gets outside, that's when he's dangerous, because he not only can he pass, he can run, and he's got the moves to pick up some yards. And as you said, there was an opening at first, but it closed up quickly.
Third down and short, about a yard. They'll force Lowry to keep, and he'll be very, very close to the first down. Right at the midfield stripe is where he needed to get. Lowry says he's got the first down.
He looked back as if he wanted to pitch, I thought, and then decided that there wasn't going to be an opportunity to do that and went up the middle. And I think it's going to be close, but he might have that first down right at the 50-yard line.
Our trusty spotter, Mark Cate, says he's got the first down. So we'll just believe it. Yeah.
He's not even wearing a striped shirt, but we could get him one.
Lowry again gets the signals from the sideline. Straight handoff to Vernon Turner on the veer, and Turner moves down to the 46-yard line of the Falcons. Right across the board, the Eagles with a junior class. Turner a junior, Lowry a junior, Alvin Thomas, or I'll correct that, Alvin Thomas is a senior. They're really high, Joe, on Buster Goins, the freshman running back out of Morristown, who's not played today, but
Buster and Todd Henderson, a freshman quarterback, and Tim Bobo. All these guys are second-teamers. Tim Bobo, the second-teamer at tight end. All 3 of those guys played together at Morristown West High School, and they've got to be excited about not only the recruiting class itself, but those 3 players are going to be good in a few years.
Pickup of about 5 as they mark the ball down at the 45-yard line of Fairmont State. Lowry dishes off to Turner, and Turner has run out of bounds near the line of scrimmage. Marty Owens again in there to make the tackle. It's going to bring on fourth down. The Eagles will punt as Turner comes out. It's a good look at Alan Cox with his hat off. Maven will drop deep for Fairmont at about the 13-yard line. Hall will try, I'm sure, to pin the Falcons inside the 20.
There's your punt.
Maven asking for and making the fair catch at the 15-yard line, where Fairmont State will have it first down and 10. We're in the second quarter. Carson Newman still in the lead, 10-0.
They're young, they're beautiful, and they're dangerous. The Rolex Ripoff Girls. A roving gang of women on the prowl for wealthy men in bars. Sex is their bait. A knockout drug is the hook. And they'll take everything the men have, from their watches to their lives.
You hear you're laying on the bed and all your stuff's going out the door. And you hear your Corvette starting.
Monday at 7 on WTVK.
Six months ago, this man's heart suddenly gave out. He had no pulse. He could no longer breathe. He got help from someone who learned CPR at the Red Cross. They got help from the United Way. Thank God the United Way got help from you. The United Way. It brings out the best in all of us.
On the next She's the Sheriff, Max thinks he's rich.
How to make $1 million in real estate while eating lunch.
Until he learns he's lost everything to a con man.
He's phonier than a $5 bill.
But Hildy has a warm heart.
I want you to stay with me.
Will an ungrateful Max have his cake and eat it too?
I'm positive.
Suzanne Summer stars in the next She's the Sheriff.
Today at 5 on WTVK.
We missed one play on the break. 8-yard pass from Stolniker to Bruce Lang. There's Mike Turner. He's been a lot of time on his knees so far in the first half.
I don't know why he's begging. So far, they're doing all right.
Second down, a couple of yards. 10:04 left to play in the first half. Bo Dunn, junior fullback, on the carry. Dunn gained 285 yards last year as a sophomore. Averaged about 4.3 yards a carry. 219 pounds. He's a hard one to bring down, apparently. He gives Fairmont a first down. At the Falcon 27. Overton working to get to the corner. Sammy Dixon on the far side in there to make the tackle. Dixon, a junior cornerback out of Greenville, South Carolina. And Joe, if Carson Newman's defense has a strength, you have to look first, I guess, toward the secondary, where all 4 players returned from last year and the backups are also experienced.
Most certainly. David Poole, probably maybe the best athlete of them all. Joe Fishback, Mike Schlechter, 9 interceptions last year. Sammy Dixon worked hard in the spring and has improved himself quite a bit.
Second down, about 5 yards to go. Overton this time will sweep the right side, and he's got the first down as he gets to about the 39-yard line. David Poole in there to make the tackle on Don Overton.
That was a good look at Overton. This Fairmont State backfield is very talented. Between Overton, Arnold, and then Bo Dunn, all 3 of those backs picked up 1,500 yards on the ground last year for Fairmont State. As a team, they gained 1,800. So that's pretty much your offense back right there.
First and 10 for Fairmont State. Misdirection again. Gets out to about the 45-yard line. Bo Dunn, or is that Overton? That's Overton. Buford Perkins in there to make the tackle, number 77. Perkins from Pritchard, Alabama, and the nose guard Fred Bennett is from Pritchard, Alabama. Now Bennett weighs 300 at least, and Perkins weighs 320.
I tell you what, if you need to gain weight, I think I'd go down to Pritchard, Alabama.
Both players outstanding talents.
Must be something in the food.
Overton this time will try and sweep the left side, and Joe Fishback fights through a block to make the tackle. A marker is dropped. Joe Fishback out of Knoxville's Austin East High School.
The preliminary indication from our referee in the booth is holding. we'll have to wait for the official ruling. How about a face mask? Holding, face mask, it's pretty close.
It'll be a 5-yard assessment against Carson Newman, so a minor foul when you compare it to what could have been. 15 yards is also a possibility on that particular infraction. But it'll be good enough for a first down for Fairmont State, as the penalty puts the football in Eagle territory at about the 49-yard line. 7:35 left to play in the first half. Carson Newman 10, Fairmont State nothing. Stan Cotton, Joe Schultz, Jamie Tucker bringing you the action. Bo Dunn on the first down play gets 5-6 yards right up the middle. As Fairmont State continues to move on this drive, it began at the 15-yard line. And again, Joe, Bo Dunn
running right up over Fred Bennett in the heart of the defensive line for Carson Newman. Bennett, you said at 290, Bruce Ghisolini and Steve Gremmen gets a few yards for the Falcons, and they're moving a little bit closer towards that goal line.
Second down, a long 4 yards to go. This time the handoff is to Johnson, who plays behind Dunn. Johnson at fullback gets the first down. Leroy Mincy makes the tackle, but not until Larry Johnson out of Bell Vernon, Pennsylvania, gets down to the Eagle 35-yard line. So the fullbacks, Joe, having some success.
Larry Johnson only had 24 yards rushing the entire season last year. Again, he goes right up over the middle, over Fred Bennett and the rest of the Eagle defensive line, and picks up some good yardage.
So Fairmont State on the ground, moving the football against Carson Newman. Well, Overton's going to switch gears and move to the left side and pick up about 9 yards as he works down to the 26-yard line. Fred Bennett makes the tackle on the far side of the field, but Overton, who gained 803 yards last year, scored 9 touchdowns, changes his mind going right. Joe heads back to the left, and it was a good decision.
This was all Overton. He gets out here, and there's nothing but blue jerseys. He makes a couple of moves, little fake there, picks up a few yards, but Bennett's just a little bit bigger, and he makes the play.
Overton's big himself for a halfback, 211 pounds. But again, Bennett, they list him at 280. Jim Deaton acknowledges that he's at least 300.
He'd like to have him at 280, he said, because he is a great player at 300, but he could be virtually unstoppable at 280. And that's the same thing with Perkins. He needs to lose a little bit of weight to play well. Both these guys, interestingly enough, have been getting up at 6:30 in the morning to run with Coach Huff. They don't have to do it. Coach Sparks or Coach Huff isn't forcing them to do it. They want to do it and try and control their weight a little bit better and make themselves better football players.
Second down, about a yard to go for Fairmont State. Eagle defense bending just a bit now. Overton again will sweep the right side. First down and more, down to the 15 to the 13-yard line. Goes Don Overton. So Fairmont State is moving the football as they continue to head toward the south end zone. And again, it's just a simple sweep by Overton, Joe.
Coach Deaton stressed the importance of keeping Overton and the rest of the backs on the inside of the field, not letting them get outside. They stayed pretty much on the inside. They had the defensive end out to force him to the inside, but he still picked up the yardage. Just good running.
Bo Dunn again on the carry, down to about the 9-yard line. Ghisolini is in there with Gary Lagging. Lagging, a backup end out of Holiday, Florida.
Don Overton might be a little bit tired. He was bent over and trying to get some air a few seconds ago. He's been worked pretty hard. He probably would like to get over the sideline and take a little rest.
Second down, 6 yards. Crisscross handoff. And a nice tackle by Sammy Dixon at the 5-yard line. Keeps Fairmont State out of the end zone. Ron Arnold ended up with the football. Stolniker handed to Overton. Overton then to Arnold. And there goes Arnold, and there's Dixon with a nice open field tackle at the 5. 3rd and 1, Fairmont State at the 4. Falcons trailing 10-0. Bo Dunn. Touchdown, Fairmont State. So the Falcons put together an 85-yard drive, and it's capped off by this touchdown run.
Dunn absorbed a few hits on that play, but was able to still get over the line for 6 points, and the Falcons are within striking distance of the Eagles now.
Bill Pitts comes in to attempt the point after. And Fairmont State is within a field goal as the Falcons get their first touchdown of the ball game. It's now 10-7, Carson Newman, with lots of football left. We'll be
Hi, this is Marshall Andrews, the Knoxville Cowboy. For Western fun and adventure, watch the Riders of the Silver Screen Saturday morning at 7 on WTVK. I'll have interviews with big stars like Eddie Arnold, Roy Acuff, Ben Johnson, and I'll have some action-packed movies, too. So round up all your friends to watch Marshall Andy Presents The Riders of the Silver Screen Saturday morning at 7 on WTVK.
Little chip shot here for Pitts. Just another day of work. The straight on kicker, good. Picks up the tee, starts to walk off, gets a little pat from his holder, and the Falcons are 3 points down now.
All right, Buster Goins is deep for Carson Newman, along with Dallas Coleman. Pitts with the kickoff, and this will be Buster Goins, the freshman out of Morristown. And Goins gets to about the 33-yard line where he's tackled. The marker is down. Let's go down to Jamie Tucker, though. Jamie.
Okay, thanks, Stan. You were talking about Fred Bennett and Buford Perkins. The two played football together down at Viger High School in Pritchard, Alabama, as you know. Viger that year went to the semifinals, lost in the semifinals, but about 4 or 5 different Viger players went to play major collegiate football. Bennett at UT, Perkins at Auburn. I spoke with him earlier, and interestingly enough, Viger is again ranked #1 in their class in the state of Alabama, and about number 2 or 3 by the USA Today, so I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Ken Sparks sends down a scout this year to scout around Viger High School down in Pritchard, Alabama. Back to you.
All right, Jamie. Of course, at Auburn, Perkins was a member of the offensive line, so he's made that transition to the defensive side of the football. And Jim Deaton says that he's very happy with the way that Perkins has made the switch to defense. The penalty was against Carson Newman on the kickoff return, personal foul, and so the line of scrimmage will now be the 18-yard line where the Eagles will have it 1st and 10. Lowry remains the quarterback. Eagles lead 10-7, 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. A couple of yards on the handoff. Vernon Turner on the carry. Ken Oravec.
They expect a lot of good things from Oravec this year. He is one of the leaders of this team. He's a senior, 6'3", 227 pounds. He also punted last year, off and on.
Can you see Lowry looking to the sideline to get the play? No huddle. Lowry scrambling out of the pocket and gets loose. There's a penalty marker down. It'll be a personal foul against Fairmont State. Lowry was well out of bounds when he was tagged. I can't, might have been Orevic who got him out of bounds. Maybe we can see it right here. Perhaps it was Terry Boyd.
Lowry rolls out, looks, makes his move. He's got some great speed. He tries to get to the outside here, and as he's coming down the sideline, who is it? Was that Orvet? No, it was Terry Boyd that hit him out of bounds. None of the Carson Newman players like that, including head coach Ken Sparks.
Well, that's not the kind of thing you want to do on your opponent's bench. You know, you do that on your own sideline if you're going to do it. I think you're outnumbered when you get into that gang down there.
By the time your teammates get over to you, you might be in bad shape.
First down for the Eagles at their own 39-yard line after the penalty. Lowry wants to throw and can't hook up with Alan Cox. That'll stop the clock with 2:51 to go in the first half. First quarter took about 45 minutes in the second quarter, with Fairmont State keeping the football on the ground with that 13-play, 84-yard drive for a score. Has chewed up quite a bit of time.
You get a look at Lowry there. He scored 12 touchdowns last year, 6 on the ground and 6 through the air.
Draw play to Thomas, and Thomas gets to about the 44-yard line. Terry Boyd is in there again to make the tackle. Again, Thomas beefed up about 15 pounds in the offseason. I saw him for the first time a few days ago and really didn't recognize him. He's gained a lot of weight. 3rd and 5. There's a strike to Alan Cox. A marker's down. Cox to the 30-yard line, but a marker was dropped at the line of scrimmage, and that usually means holding.
Alan Cox has had a good game so far. The 6'4", 202-pound junior from Gatlinburg. Lowry, Turner told us they do some rollout and some drop back on that particular play. As a drop back for Edwin, he finds Cox open, and Cox, big for a split end, gets a couple yards and takes some of the Fairmont State Falcons with him. B.J. Kisner made the tackle, but all for naught. It comes back holding on the Eagles. Have to start over at their own 34.
That'll bring on 3rd down at about 16 yards to go. Right at 2 minutes now. There's that moving pocket. And Lowry gets rid of it to Vernon Turner. And Turner gets to about the 47-yard line. Another Fairmont State player is injured as Vernon Turner comes back from the Fairmont State sideline.
That was just athletic ability on both Lowry, on his behalf, and also on Turner. Lowry gets to the outside and has to split the seam, kind of a sidearm throw, hits Turner, and Turner has to make a couple moves, a little step here, a little step there, pick up the yardage, and get out of bounds.
It'll be 4th down when play is resumed. The Falcons with another injured player on the field. We haven't made out who it is yet, so we won't try and speculate. But Coach Wally Hood of the Falcons has to be a little concerned about injuries so far. 3 or 4 of his Falcons have gone down.
Depth was certainly a concern for the Falcons and the Eagles as well. But the strength of the Falcon defense is with the strength of the Falcon team is with their defense. They have a great first unit, but beyond that, they're pretty green. They've got a bunch of freshmen on the defensive line, and then the freshmen at the linebacker position. So they've got to be careful and try and keep as many people healthy as they can. As you know, any team wants to do that, but with their lack of depth, it's more important for Fairmont State.
Pretty good crowd on this first home game for Carson Newman. Little unusual, kicking off at 11 in the morning.
I feel like we're at Wimbledon or something, out at tea and crumpets. We're the queen, where's the king?
All right, live from the Tennessee Valley Fair, the 7th Regional Youth Talent Contest will be coming your way from WTVK. That'll be on Friday, September the 9th at 8 o'clock as the TVA&I Fair again comes to East Tennessee. Youth Talent Contest here on WTVK. Right down for the Eagles.
Ray Erskine, the injured player, he's hobbling off. It doesn't look like it's going to be a threatening injury down the road. Hopefully we'll see him back this afternoon. We'll have to wait and see.
Hall is in punt formation. Lou Mabin deep for Fairmont at the 19-yard line. Mabin makes the catch at the 11-yard line and goes down shortly thereafter at about the 16. Nice punt downfield, 41 yards for Brent Hall. And Fairmont State, with 1 minute and 38 seconds left, will try and get downfield.
Kisner was surrounded on that play. Nowhere to go. The ball coming back. Eagles all around him. On his right was Chad Sparks. I shouldn't say Kisner. I should say Mabin. But on his right was Chad. On his left was Chad Sparks. And a bunch of other Eagles. Chad Sparks, I guess you could liken him to Bill Bates of the Dallas Cowboys, the hard-hitting, enthusiastic player.
Fairmont gets the pass out there to Bruce Lang, who gets a first down at the 26-yard line. Joe Fishback, the strong safety, makes the tackle. Lang, a junior out of Tampa, 154 yards last year on 12 catches.
They expect Lang to fill the shoes of Mike Bosco, who caught some 70-odd passes for the Falcons last year.
That pass deflected at the line of scrimmage by Alan Brown. Hi there. That'll stop the clock with 1:14 to go in the first half.
Alan Brown just out making his coverage, looks up and sees the pass coming his way, sticks his hands up, makes the play, and Fairmont State has to regroup.
Overton again changes direction and gets about 2 yards as he works to the left side. Bruce Ghisolini, Leroy Mincy in there first for Carson Newman.
That's a tough side to go back to with Ghisolini and Mincy on that side.
Less than a minute now, 40 seconds. And counting in the first half. We invite you to stay tuned at halftime. We'll check in with Gary Weiss on college football from today and Rick Russo from down in Athens, Georgia, as Tennessee gets set to open its season against the Georgia Bulldogs. Overton on the carry once more, nearing a first down. Kevin Catlett getting up last for Carson Newman out of Halls High School. Coach Larry Kerr, a Carson Newman graduate. With the Red Devils.
Kevin was forced into action last year as a freshman. It didn't seem as if he was really ready to play, or the coaches wanted him to use him at that particular time, but because of injuries and various other things, Kevin was forced to play, and now they're expecting big things from him. What he doesn't have in physical ability, they say he will make up in hard work and effort. Timeout on the field. Coach Sparks talking to David Poole. Mike Schlechter, Joe Fishback also comes over, along with Sammy Dixon, his entire secondary.
29 seconds left to play in the first half. Of course, a lot of you locally have heard about the big switch coming up, and we're proud to tell you that we're going to join CBS Sports on Saturday, September the 10th. WTVK and the folks from CBS Sports together again, and we're very proud to join CBS. A week from today.
They have a great sports lineup.
Of course, they've got the PGA Tour, including the Masters, the NBA, college basketball, college football. So if you want sports, turn to TV 26 and CBS starting September 10th. First down for Fairmont State. Falcons still have some time. Arnold makes the catch and is dropped by Fishback at the 41-yard line.
Good coverage by the Carson Newman secondary. Stallnaker comes outside, hits Arnold, but Joe Fishback is there, as are a number of other Eagles, but Fishback is the first one there to make the play.
And again, coming up at the half, we'll check in with Gary Weiss, who is standing by at the Sports Center to catch you up on, well, it's kind of early right now. Not a whole lot of games going on at this point, but a lot of action set for later today and tonight. And again, Tennessee will meet Georgia at 6 o'clock down in Athens. We'll have a report from Rick Russo, who made the trip down this morning.
That should be a good ball game. Two talented teams. Tennessee, of course, with a balanced offense. Reggie Cobb at running back and Jeff Francis, who some say may be one of the top quarterbacks in the country. I read in the paper, I think, the other day that somebody said he might be one of the second or third quarterbacks chosen in the draft. And then, of course, they have some great wide receivers. There's Fred Bennett, a former University of Tennessee football player. The only difference, I guess, for him now is a little bit of smaller school, but playing for national championships.
22 seconds left in the first half now. Second down for Fairmont at its 41-yard line. Stallnaker on play action, going deep for Lang, and momentarily Lang was open. Lang had gotten by Schlechter and Dixon, but the pass was just a bit underthrown, and Sammy Dixon comes up hurt.
Probably a jammed finger. Stallnaker threw that ball around 45 yards, but it was still short of the receiver, Mike Schlechter and Dixon, both there. Somebody could have had an interception, but the ball drops in. Falcons still have a chance as they start from their 41.5. Sammy Dixon still bothered, I think, by his hand a little bit, but I'm sure he'll play on.
That brings on third down and about 7 now for Fairmont. Little swing pass to the left side, and Overton is decked by Joe Fishback. That's the way they teach them right there, that tackle.
Hit, lift, drive, put them on their back, and that's exactly what Joe Fishback did. Hello. Fishback says, welcome to Mossy Creek, Don Overton.
All right, that's the end of the first half. A lot of college football left, and it's been good so far. And that should read 10-7. 10-7, Carson Newman in the lead.
Confidence comes with this uniform. And as a Marine, you earn that confidence by doing a tough job with skill and daring. That's something to be proud of. You develop it by working on a unique team that succeeds where others might fail. A team respected around the world. It's a confidence that comes from knowing nothing is impossible if you are prepared to do it. And Marines are ready for anything that comes their way. Find out. Maybe you can be one of us. The few, the proud, the Marines.
September 10th, WTVK joins the CBS network. Now for you, that means CBS Entertainment from The Price is Right to Dallas will move to WTVK. Other favorites like MASH and Family Ties will stay right here. CBS News will also join Channel 26, including the CBS Evening News. And now the News Center has expanded to an hour of local news, anchored by Hal Wanzer and Alan Denton. This fall, join WTVK and CBS together.
Carson Newman leading Fairmont State 10-7 at the half. Jamie Tucker is with Coach Ken Sparks. Jamie.
Okay, thanks a lot, Stan. Coach Sparks, you're leading 10-7 at halftime. Are you pleased with the performance so far?
Well, Jamie, I think you know the answer to that before I even start on it. I'm not pleased in any way. We have made a lot of mistakes, and, 84-yard drive is kind of things that get you beat in a hurry. And we've certainly got to do a whole lot better job defensively. And, and we're stopping ourselves offensively. 2 penalties have killed us. And so we've got to do a whole lot better job offensively. I'm not pleased at all, but our kids are playing hard, and we'll hang in there and see what happens next.
A lot of the fans and a lot of the people watching on television surprised to see the Eagles coming out and throwing the ball as much as we have so far. Is this going to continue in the second half?
Well, James, they're sitting up there with an 8-man front. We've got to throw it, and they're not giving us any choice. And, of course, some of the runs that Edwin's having are are the fact that he's scrambling, and we run it outside, trying to get the ball outside. And, yes, we're going to throw it more, and no question about it.
Okay, Coach. Thanks a lot. Let you go. Thanks for stopping by. Back to you, Stan.
Okay, Jamie. Coach Ken Sparks not very happy, and I'm sure Coach Wally Hood not all excited about what has transpired here in the first half. It's a close ball game. Nevertheless, Carson Newman leading Fairmont State 10-7. Standing by in the Sports Center is Gary Weiss. Gary, let's go to you now.
Thank you, Stan, and welcome to the halftime show. This, of course, is the first big weekend of college football. On the menu, breakfast at Berkshire Stadium, and later on, it's dinner with the Dogs. Tonight, Tennessee kicks off the 88th season in Athens, Georgia. It's the battle of number 18 and number 12 on the AP charts. The Volunteers are the underdog against the Dogs. Right now, let's give you a preview of the game. Rick Russo reports on this major matchup.
They want to play. Tennessee wants to play. The fans want to play. It's time to play.
Indeed it is. The day has arrived and the time for talk ended. The Vols and Dogs open their 1988 regular season and SEC schedules tonight at Sanford Stadium in a contest which has enjoyed the hype of a postseason bowl game.
It's not a Duke or Virginia or Oregon State, somebody like that. You got a major power coming here, and they got the tools that, they're capable to beat anybody in the nation.
The Vols' hopes for an opening day victory lie on the shoulders of a defensive unit led by senior linebacker Keith DeLong, who knows Tennessee must force Georgia and quarterback Wayne Johnson to put the ball in the air.
If you look at the statistics, putting pressure on him, he tends to throw interceptions, and his statistics tend to go down. So if we put the pressure on him, I think we can create some turnovers and make some things happen.
Game strategy aside, the Vols are hoping tonight's nationally televised battle will turn out much the same as last year's nationally televised opener against Iowa. As for Georgia, the Dogs' last opener on national television was ironically at home against another SEC opponent in Alabama. The Dogs lost that game 20-16 in 1985, a game quarterback Wayne Johnson remembers well.
For us, me being experienced, I think it's going to make me be more mature than what I was in '85, because I was a redshirt freshman that year.
It will be important for Tennessee not to fall behind early against the Dogs, who are very tough between the hedges. Georgia remains a slim favorite in the contest. We'll have a full report following the game on the late edition of the News Center. From Athens, Georgia, Rick Russo, 26 Sports.
Now game time again is shortly after 6. Rick is in Athens, Georgia, all prepped up and ready to go. He will, like he said, have the highlights at 11. In the meantime, it's kickoff time all across the SEC with some good matches and some mismatches. First off, the Florida Gators, led by Emmitt Smith, play at home against Montana State. Also today, Central Michigan travels down from the great Midwest to try and tackle Kentucky. Memphis State takes the night train to Jackson Miss to battle Ole Miss in their season opener. Meanwhile, over in Starkville, it's Louisiana Tech against Mississippi State. And last but certainly not least today, it's a big game in the Bayou. The Aggies of Texas A&M against number 17 LSU. That game is tonight. But we're not finished yet. Up next, a look at the top 20 and a look back at the first half as the halftime show continues in a moment.
Hello, I'm Charles Kuralt. In 1953, WTVK Channel 26 began its friendship with the CBS television network as the local CBS affiliate. Live television was alive and kicking. Channel 26 made history by broadcasting the first live television network program in Knoxville. The tradition started then, it continues today. On September 10th, the CBS Television Network and WTVK renew their partnership. Together again at last.
I'm Bill Huntley. I mined coal for 25 years. Used to be, I could hardly get to these mountain streams. But now, hey, I go hunting, fishing, and best of all, I get to enjoy time with my grandchildren. The Black Lung Clinic has been a big difference in my life. The clinic counselor helped me with my health benefits. The clinic even helped me stop smoking. I just take better care of myself. Come on, Scotty. Let's go downstream.
Contact the Black Lung Clinic in your area. You'll breathe easier.
Hey, Jim, want to shoot a few hoops? Yeah. No way. Gotta go to work. Too bad. Catch you next time. Yeah.
I could lay out of work. Nah, can't. Miss Hodges will never decide which melon to buy if I'm not there to help her. She's a sweet lady, and her granddaughter's a real fox. Mrs. Cunningham will need my help with the twins, too. When it comes to produce, I'm the man. Well, sort of.
Food City, terrific service from people who really care.
And welcome back to the Carson Newman Halftime Show. We are talking top 20 now, and all eyes will focus in on the state of Florida tonight. The #1 ranked Florida State Seminoles take on #6, the Miami Hurricanes. No matter how you slice this one up, it should be a dynamic game. Elsewhere in the top 20, Nebraska is at home against Utah State. #4 Clemson is also on friendly turf against unranked Virginia Tech. Out west, the Aztecs of San Diego State will try to upset #5 UCLA. #9 Iowa should pick up a win and a pretty nice tan against Hawaii today. West Virginia takes on the Bowling Green Falcons from the MAC Conference. And North and South Carolina round out the top 20 with the Gamecocks favored in that one. Well, the game you're watching is Carson Newman against Fairmont State. It's the Eagles' home opener. And let's take a look at the first 30 minutes of action from Burke Tar Stadium today. It's the opening kickoff, and this is not the best way to start off your season if you happen to be a Carson Newman Eagle fan. Watch little Bruce laying the speedy split end, gets the nice reverse, and the Falcons look like they're in business here. But not for long. A little mix-up leads to a big mistake here. Carson Newman says they got the ball, and yes, they got the ball. And a few minutes later, well, the Eagles fans get a big kick out of the newcomer, Rick Wetzel, who connects from 29 yards out. It's 3-zip, and the Carson Newman Eagles and the fans are pretty happy about that. Same quarter, same score here. Watch tricky Edwin Lowry. It's 4th down and 2 to go, and the QB goes for the fake. So does the entire defense there. Alan Cox makes the catch 39 yards later. Cox gets the score, and the Carson Newman fans and everybody else is pretty happy here. It's 10-0 at that point, and things are looking pretty nice for the Eagles. Later, though, Fairmont State goes to work. Running back Bo Dunn makes like Bo Jackson here and rumbles home. It's 10-7 at that point, and that's the score, 10-7 at the half. And now to give you the second half, let's return to the stadium and Stan Cotton.
All right, thanks, Gary. We are at halftime. Carson Newman leading over Fairmont State, 10-7. We've just been entertained. Sorry you missed it by the Jefferson County High School Band. A nice performance by the Patriots. And speaking of the Patriots, last year's AAA champions, Joe Schultz, rolling right along. They've scored not quite 100 points in their first 2 ball games. So Coach Craig Kizabeth and crew moving right along this season so far.
51-0 last night over Chattanooga City. You would have thought that after winning the state championship last year with players like Todd Collins and some of the other stars that they had, Collins, of course, went on to Georgia, you would have thought that this might be a down year for the Patriots, but quite the opposite, I guess. They're doing quite well.
This, I guess Jefferson County is football country. Of course, Jefferson County High School and Carson Newman College here in Jefferson City, also located in Jefferson County. If you have never been to East Tennessee, you need to come out here and visit all us hillbillies out in this area, and some of the most beautiful country you'll ever see. For those of you watching the telecast along the AXE television system, perhaps out in the western part of the country, if you've never, there's part of it. And wait till about the 3rd week of October. Those will be orange and blue, and who are those guys? But just a beautiful area, and Carson Newman College with beautiful setting here in the foothills of East Tennessee.
Well, I came down here from Illinois 5 years ago, and if you've ever been to Illinois, you know that it's cornfields and it's flat, and this is quite a culture shock, but it is absolutely beautiful. The mountains are something that as Stan says, if you've never seen, you definitely need to see. Very pretty. The trails through the mountains. Just the area in East Tennessee. Along with the mountains, they have great many lakes for anyone who likes water, fishing, boating, what have you. This is one of the prettiest areas in the country.
Here's the Reliable Chain Gang across the way. They've been here since Ken Sparks was here. Jamie Tucker is standing by right now. Jamie.
Okay, thanks a lot, Stan. I'm standing here with Kent Heim, who is the head cheerleader of the Carson Newman cheerleading squad. Kent, Carson Newman cheerleaders, they went to camp not too long ago. How did the cheerleaders do?
Well, we went to camp at ETSU. It's a Universal Cheerleaders Association camp, and in 3 different competition categories that we had, we took a 1st place, a 2nd place, and a 4th place. So we were all happy with our performance there this year. Some of the best squads in the country attend camp up there, the University of Kentucky, University of Illinois, just to name 2. And it's a really tough camp, so we were really happy about it.
Last year, the Eagle cheerleading squad missed the Nationals by just a hair. How does that take place, and when can we expect that this year?
What happens is UCA sends us an application, and we send them a videotape of 3 pieces of material that we put together and try to get perfect. And we send it in, and they evaluate the tapes. In our division, which is Division II for smaller colleges, they pick 3 squads to attend national championship finals, which are at SeaWorld in San Diego, California. And last year we took 4th and just missed it by 1 position.
Okay, well, we wish you all the luck. And Stan, of course, this is only the 2nd weekend that Carson Newman students have been back in school. So, of course, a large contingent of students in the orange and blue seats. And they're here for another good half of football coming up in the 2nd half. Back to you.
All right, Jamie, we've got 2 quarters of football left. And it's a close one, 10-7, the Eagles on top of the Falcons. And we'll have more as our halftime show continues after this.
Here at CBS, we're excited about our renewed partnership with WTVK TV 26. CBS and WTVK, together again at last.
WTVK and CBS together September 10th.
Hi, I'm Bob McGrath, and I'm here to help these kids trick-or-treat for UNICEF, the United Nations Children's Fund. Right? Right! Okay, shall I say trick-or-treating for UNICEF is the way kids in the USA raise money for less fortunate kids around the world?
No, we'll do that.
So I'll say how the money you raise this year will enable UNICEF to provide basic health services and emergency aid for children in 119 countries.
No, we'll do that.
Oh. Then I'll say UNICEF helps people to help themselves.
No, we'll do that.
Oh. So, what do you want me to do?
Ring the doorbell. We can't reach it.
Ready?
Trick-or-treat for UNICEF.
For more information, call 1-800-FOR-KIDS.
"10-7 is the score at halftime. The Falcons have made their way back out on the field with their coach, Wally Hood, and Jamie Tucker is standing by with the coach of the Falcons. Jamie.
Okay, thanks a lot, Stan. Coach Hood, trailing 10-7 in the first half. How are you feeling about your team's performance in the first half?
I wasn't pleased with the way we got started. I was pleased with the way we got started, and then we kind of fell apart a little bit, got some penalties, and let the momentum shift. But in the second quarter, I felt like we got the momentum back, and we moved the ball down for a long drive, and we got the drive going in the the end of the quarter. So I think our kids have some momentum now, and they've settled down a little bit, and I think we'll be all right.
Okay, one more question. Defensively, offensive lineman, our offensive outside linebacker was injured early in the game. Is he going to return?
It doesn't look like it right now. He got his knee busted up, and I'm not sure what it is. We'll have to wait.
Okay, thanks a lot, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Stan, that's the story. We don't know yet if the outside linebacker will return to the football game. It's questionable. The rest of the season may be questionable for him. So back to you.
All right, Jamie, the Eagles have yet to make their way back out. They lead by a field goal, 10-7. The Eagles got on the scoreboard first with 9:51 left to play in the first period. The Eagles got a 29-yard field goal by Rick Wetzel and took a 3-0 lead. Then about 4 minutes later, the Eagles surprisingly went to the air, and Edwin Lowry connected with Alan Cox on a 39-yard pass. Wetzel had the point after, and with about 10 minutes gone in the first period, the Eagles had a 10-0 lead. That's all the Eagles could muster in the first half, and Fairmont State put together in the second quarter, about 7 minutes into the period, I should say a couple of minutes into the period, an outstanding drive. 84 yards, 13 plays, and the final 4 coming on a run by Bo Dunn, and the point after by Pitts pulled Fairmont State to within 3 at 10-7. That's where we are at the half. The captains are meeting in the center of the field. For Carson Newman, Mike Schlechter, and out there for Fairmont State, Dave DeSanyo, and also out there with him is Joe Jones. Carson Newman will have the football first in the second half.
Stan, both coaches talked about mistakes that were made in the first half and how costly some of those mistakes were. But, and I'm sure they realize this, it's still the first game, and a lot of these guys that are playing now did not see a lot of playing time last year and are really sort of getting used to the new idea of playing, the crowd, just a lot of different things that are associated with playing college football. So they had to expect some mistakes, and in a way, I guess it's a point of who makes the least mistakes.
Let's check some of the first half stats. Total yards, Carson Newman 167, Fairmont State 126, fairly even there. Yards rushing, this is unusual that Carson Newman is being outrushed by anybody. 97 for Fairmont, 62 for the Eagles. And then look at the other statistic, 105 yards for the Eagles through the air in the first half, 29 for Fairmont State. Eagles 7 of 9 through the air, Fairmont 5 of 8. Hall has punted 3 times for the Eagles, averaging 32 yards, 2 kicks for Fairmont State, and Gordon Moon averaging 38. And Fairmont State has the lone turnover in the ball game. Each team has been penalized. Fairmont State a couple of times for 20 yards, and the Eagles 4 times for 35 yards. So a lot of things fairly even, and I think that reflects, Joe, on the scoreboard, 10-7.
That's true, but one of the things you have to think about, Carson Newman, you've been associated with the school doing play-by-play for 8 years now.
This will be my 9th coming up.
When was the last time that you can recall Carson Newman threw for more yards than they rushed?
Never. Absolutely never.
This is half the game. It might change in the second half.
So write this one down, September 3rd, 1988. Eagles finally making their way out. Jamie was talking earlier about the injury to Bill Benno, and there it is right there on his right knee. And
it was a good block by Vernon Turner. It just caught him in a sore spot. The knee, as you well know, is always a problem area for football players. And unfortunately, Benno suffered the damage.
Benno, the junior linebacker out of Lakewood, Ohio, had 1 interception last year, and we certainly want to pass along to him our best. Eagles will get the ball first. Buster Goins and Dallas Coleman will go back for Carson Newman. Pitts will kick it off for Fairmont State. We're about an hour and 45 minutes old right now.
Buster Goins back again for the Eagles. Next to him, Dallas Coleman. Buster, one of those freshmen out of Morristown West. He led the IMAC in rushing last year.
This will be Coleman at the goal line. And Coleman slips down at about the 17-yard line, where the Eagles will have it first down and 10 yards to go.
They set up a good wall, the Eagles, but they forgot one player. He came in and made the tackle.
The official spot at the 17-yard line, 1st and 10 for Carson Newman. Edwin Lowry is in there at quarterback, number 19. Lowry gets to about the 20-yard line on the keeper. Terry Boyd is there to make the tackle.
Nice little open field tackle. Caught him at the knees. When you're bigger than the quarterback in situations like that, it's awful tough to stop him. But Boyd is able to catch Lowry right in the lower part of the body, which is where you have to hit in order to take them off their feet. And Lowry went down.
2nd down and 7. Lowry on a rollout and overthrows his intended receiver, almost picked off. Mark Johnson was at the 30-yard line, and the ball just was out of his reach. Lou Maidman was back defending for Fairmont State.
That's the rollout that Coach Sparks has wanted to use with Lowry, and Lowry makes the throw. It's just a little short, probably a little out of practice, having taken the halftime break. And Lou Maidman almost makes the catch, but doesn't quite.
So all of a sudden, it's 3rd down for the Eagles. The moving pocket this time, and downfield incomplete. Intended this time for Cox, and Fairmont State has come out fired up on defense, and the Falcons will get the football back. 4 plays for the Eagles and a punt.
Each time Edwin has had the players open, he just has a little bit of a difficulty finding his mark downfield, but they'll get another opportunity.
So Brent Hall goes in punt formation. Maben will drop deep for Fairmont at the 45-yard line. Markers drop on the play, and we'll have to do that one over.
Maben, it seems, if there's a play to be made, he's always around the ball. Penalty on the Eagles' illegal procedure. Take him back a little bit, and Hall will start over.
Hall standing near his goal line. Maben at the 50, shakes a couple of tackles and is wrapped up at the 46-yard line.
Chad Sparks was right there again, right at his ankles. Then he got some help from the rest of his Carson Newman teammates, and they brought him down.
And so Fairmont State's first offensive possession of the second half will begin at the Eagle 46-yard line.
Maben tries to pick up the yardage, but Chad Sparks wraps him low, and then Steve Gramman comes high, and Maben can't go anywhere.
Bo Dunn again for Fairmont State on the carry, picks up almost 5 yards. That'll bring on second down right at 6 yards. Stolniker remains the quarterback for Fairmont State, a freshman out of Glenville, West Virginia. Overton to the short side is wrapped up after little gain, if any. Alan Brown over there with Mike Schlechter to make the tackle. And so Fairmont now all of a sudden with a third down. Eagle assistant head coach Bill Mitchell. Fairmont State needs 6 yards for a first down.
Looked like there was movement on the right side of the line there for Fairmont State. That would have been Boyd Northrup, I think, the right tight end playing on the right side.
Illegal procedure, 5 yards against Fairmont State will back the Falcons up 5 yards and bring on third down right at 11 yards to go. And you would assume that State would put the ball in the air. Although I guess that's why you play. You never know.
They're not known for passing too much.
Stolniker comes out. has Lang. Lang gives some ground to get some and is chased out of bounds at about the 36-yard line. A marker is dropped at that point. Schlechter was over there with Leroy Mincy. Another marker has been dropped. I think Leroy Mincy was over there involved with something. It's
safe to say safe to say on that play that Mincy will get charged with the late hit. Stolniker rolled out and had a little bit of trouble, but then Lang finds an open spot in the middle and gets to it. Stolniker hits him, and then Lang from there does the rest, going all the way across the field. Schlechter makes the grab just short of the first down, but then Mincy comes in on the late hit. Penalty flag is thrown, and then after that, Mincy exchanged words with some of the Fairmont State players, and then Leroy shoved one of them, and that makes things even harder on the Eagles and giving Fairmont State a much bigger break.
Well, there's 3 personal fouls against the Eagles, so that's 45 yards.
So they just scored a touchdown is what you're saying.
Well, I guess it'll turn. I don't know what they're going to do. I think the initial personal foul was on Schlechter for a face mask, and then Mincy got involved, and from there I have no idea what happened. I will tell you this. Fairmont State's going to be deep in Eagle territory.
I don't think the Eagle players understand what happened either. Now all they know is they got their backs to the wall, and if they want to keep themselves from being down 4 points, they're going to have to put up a pretty fierce goal line stand right here.
The crowd coming to life just a little bit. Carson Newman jumped out 10-0 as Coach Ken Sparks' squad looked like it was off and running, but it's now 10-7. Eagles by 3 with Fairmont State threatening.
Stolniker, the Falcons quarterback, has handled himself well for a freshman. Of course, he was an All-Stater at West Virginia High School last year, but he beat out Pat Burson, who was the only experienced quarterback for the Falcons. Not that experienced, but a little experienced. Stolniker has come in as a freshman and played with confidence and led the Falcons to this position where they are now at the 4-yard line.
Eagles will pull out one of their defensive backs. Schlechter comes out. Buford Perkins goes in. A little extra beef in the middle. Fairmont first and goal at the Eagle 4 with 12:25 left to go in the third quarter. Eagles up by 3, but Fairmont State knocking on the door. Overton is swarmed for a loss at the 9-yard line. Steve Grauman for Carson Newman, number 96, a junior transfer from Akron, in on the tackle.
That was a great play by Grauman. While at Akron, he must have picked up some tips from his former coach, Jerry Faust. Overton gets the outside, but Grauman meets him face-to-face, and Grauman wins that battle.
So Fairmont State now has its second and goal from the 9, a loss of about 5 yards on the play. Stolniker up top to Lang. Touchdown, Fairmont State.
And they'll bring it back.
A marker is down.
Lang made the catch, but he moved his foot.
Illegal motion against Fairmont State. Lang got behind Sammy Dixon on the corner and was there for the catch.
Dixon was beat, but Dixon was thrown at the beginning of the play when Lang moved his foot. I saw Dixon move a little bit, caught him off guard, and then by the time he could catch up, Lang was in the end zone, ball in hand.
It'll remain second down and goal for Fairmont State. The line of scrimmage now becomes the 14-yard line. So Fairmont has lost 10 yards in the last 2 plays. 2nd and goal from the 14. Bo Dunn right up the middle, and Dunn with good yardage down to the 6-yard line where he's tackled. Alan Brown in there for the Eagles, along with Fred Bennett.
Bo Dunn is pretty much the Falcons' short distance runner. 67 carries last year, 285 yards. Pulls his way through the Eagle line there. On his way to the goal line, stops short.
That'll bring on 3rd down. Bill Pitts waiting in the wings for Fairmont State if Wally Hood calls for a field goal. Up top again to Lang. Incomplete. Dixon with better coverage that time, but Lang still had a chance with a catch, and that brings on 4th down, and the Falcons will go for a field goal.
Dixon did cover that better that time, but still he was beat. Lang had his hands on the ball, and as coaches say, anytime you get your hands on the ball, you should make the catch. So 2 mistakes by Lang that cost the Falcons a touchdown.
So Bill Pitts comes in to attempt a 22-yard field goal. And it's good. So Fairmont State, after falling down 10-0, has come back to tie it in the 3rd quarter. We're all even, 10-10. Stay with us.
Rolex ripoff girls. They'll take everything men have from their watches to their lives.
Monday at 7 on WTVK.
Introducing a light potato chip with a country fresh flavor. New Pringles Light Ranch. And guess what it's missing? A lot of the fat in their regular potato chips. But you'll never miss it.
And it's missing a lot of their salt. But you won't miss it.
New Pringles Light Ranch, made with sour cream, buttermilk, and herbs for so much country fresh flavor.
You'll never miss what's missing.
WTVK and CBS together, September 10th.
Money can't buy love, but you'll love all the things you can buy with a loan from Merchants and Planters Bank.
We love our new home.
I love these home improvements.
I love my new truck.
We love our little graduate. Oh, Mom.
You can be sure of getting friendly and reliable service at Merchants and Planters, too. Our friendly service is free because money can't buy everything. But a loan from Merchants and Planters can sure buy a lot of things. Merchants and Planters Bank, the old reliable.
All right, a field goal from Fairmont State's Bill Pitts has tied the game at 10. So the Falcons have proved that they can come from behind. It was at one point 10-0 Eagles. Now it's 10-10. Pitts will now kick off to Dallas Coleman and Buster Goins. Goins at the top right of your screen, Coleman down below. 10 minutes, 54 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. Here's Dallas Coleman, number 39, awaiting the kick of Bill Pitts. High and short, so Coleman will get a chance. Behind the wall, and here comes Dallas Coleman. Tripped up at the 42-yard line. Larry Johnson makes the tackle, perhaps a touchdown-saving tackle.
That was a picture-perfect setup with the wall. Coleman gets behind his wall, goes up the middle, and before he looks anywhere, he doesn't see anything but green grass. Larry Johnson comes over to make the play, though the only thing standing in the way of Coleman in the end zone, the kicker right there, Pitts. I don't know if he would have made the play or not, but it doesn't matter.
Little counter option play, not much there for the Eagles. 2 yards maybe. Bernard Turner on the carry. That'll bring on 2nd down, about 8 yards to go for Carson Newman. Edwin Lowry has gone the distance for the Eagles at quarterback, with the exception of a couple of plays early when Charlie Cole came in. Bootleg for Lowry going downfield, and nice play downfield by Fairmont State. Well, that was number 3, and we don't have him anywhere.
Little rollout for Lowry. Has his receiver open, but his pass is a little short. And number 3 backpedaling. Makes the play. Alan Cox can't make the catch.
That's John Crockett. We have him listed as number 2. Crockett is number 3. So Crockett out of Madison, Ohio, with a nice deflection, bringing on 3rd down for the Eagles, and that pass is incomplete. Alan Cox couldn't quite haul it in. Lou Maben was back there, and Fairmont State will once more get the football.
Cox is getting a workout today. Lowry spots him coming across the middle, but it's a little too hot to handle. Cox drops it, and Carson Newman is forced to punt.
Not a very long kick by Hall. Maben makes the fair catch at the 15-yard line. Is a bit upset at himself for not returning. Fairmont State, after a 40-yard punt by Hall, will have it 1st down and 10. Lou Maben, number 9, senior safety out of the state of West Virginia.
83 yards to go for a touchdown.
10:02 left to play in the 3rd quarter. An awful lot of time left in the football game. Overton to the far side for a couple. Kevin Catlett in on the tackle for the Eagles, along with Alan Brown. A pickup of right at 3 yards. 2nd down, a short 7 upcoming. 10-10 is the score. Each team with a touchdown and a field goal. Fairmont State has had the upper hand the last quarter and a half. Three or four more for State. Leroy Mincy stepping in to make the tackle for the Eagles.
I don't think Fairmont State is doing that many things differently this half than they did in the first half, but the Carson Newman defense isn't playing with a lot of enthusiasm right now, and they're giving up the yardage.
Overton brings on for Fairmont. 3rd down, right at 2 yards to go. Falcons at their own 25-yard line. Dunn gets the 1st down and more for Fairmont. Tom Wicks finally wrestles him down at about the 37-yard line. I should say Gary Lagging. Lagging backing up Wicks at end. Makes the tackle, and Joe Dunn carried Lagging for 4 or 5 yards.
Coach Deaton told us that he wanted his defensive unit to play intelligently, but with a turned loose attitude at the same time. Go after the ball, but at this point it seems as if they're waiting for the ball to come to them.
Fairmont State 1st and 10 at its own 39-yard line. Stolniker up top to Lang, and Lang makes the grab at the 46-yard line for a pickup of about 6 yards.
They're working Lang against Sammy Dixon right now, and Lang has won the battles, but not the wars. The first 2 he missed earlier. His speed right on the outside there is just too much for Dixon to get there in time to stop the pass. That's only a 6-yard pickup. At the same time, those 6-yard pickups will carry all the way down the field just like a 22-yard pickup will.
2nd down, a very long 3 yards to go for Fairmont State. Falcons moving the football. Bo Dunn for a couple more. That'll bring on 3rd down. Leroy Mincy and Fred Bennett make the tackle. Eagles now substituting on defense. Schlechter will come out. Perkins will go in as the Eagles come with a short yardage defense. One more big guy in there in the middle. Third down, 1 yard to go for State. 7:03 now. The Falcons want timeout as Stolniker looks over the Eagle defense and sees something he does not like, so he asks for time to talk with Coach Wally Hood. Lots of football left. We're tied 10-10. Carson Newman and Fairmont State. We'll be right back.
On the next She's the Sheriff, Max thinks he's rich.
How to make $1 million in real estate while eating lunch.
Until he learns he's lost everything to a con man.
He's phonier than a $5 bill.
But Hildy has a warm heart.
I want you to stay with me.
Will an ungrateful Max have his cake and eat it too?
I'm positive.
Suzanne Summer stars in the next She's the Sheriff.
Today at 5 on WTVK.
On the next Mama's Family, Mama's scrimping and saving for the stove of her dreams.
It's even got a deluxe grease spatter guard. I'll tell you, Ollie, you can fry bacon in the nude without a second thought.
So she's renting out rooms for the weekend.
I feel just like Connie Selica. Well, I guess that makes me James Brolin.
But when the house is overbooked, is she in for a swinging time?
How did Conrad Hilton do it?
So make your reservation for laughs on the next Mama's Family.
Today at 5:30 on WTVK.
10-10 is the score with 7:02 left to play in the third quarter. Fairmont State now third down, a long 1 yard to go from its own 47.5-yard line. A big play in this Falcon drive right here. Bo Dunn for the first down as he barrels into Eagle territory at the 49-yard line. And so Fairmont State continues to go right at the Eagle defense.
At 5'11", 220 pounds, Dunn doesn't have too much trouble picking up those short yardage over Gary Lagging, who at linebacker, or defensive end, is only 6'1", 210 pounds. So Dunn wins the battle of the size and wins the battle right there for the first down.
All right, 1st and 10, Fairmont State at the Eagle 48-yard line. They'll play fake. And Fred Bennett gets a hand on the pass to knock it down and bring on 2nd down.
He moves pretty good. Gets outside for a man who's 280 pounds. Yeah, right. Stolniker looks to pass, but Bennett, with those big mitts of his, reaches up, and now it's 2nd down and 10.
You know, Bennett's not that tall either. He's right at 6 feet.
He looks, from what all the indications everybody's told me, he's a good athlete.
Overton trying to get to the outside, and that one is stopped dead. Joe Fishback at strong safety knifes in. There he is, number 29, with the hit on Overton, and that brings on 3rd down, about 12 yards to go.
Leroy Mincy was the first one through the line of scrimmage, just missing Overton to the inside. But right behind Mincy is Joe Fishback, and then Mincy gets right back up and helps him put Overton down on the ground. Now it's 3rd and long yardage.
About 12 yards to go. The Falcons need to get down to the Eagle 38-yard line for a 1st down. There's a reverse to Lang around the right side, and Lang is dropped as he gets to about the 45. Mike Schlechter is there to bring on 4th down. And into punt for Fairmont State will come Gordon Moon.
You can see the reverse developing. Lang gets over to the other side of the field, and he picks his holes pretty well. But his last one, not too wisely, because Mike Schlecter's waiting in the wings for the play.
Moon punting away from Poole, so Poole has to let it bounce. It takes a Falcon roll and is down to the 10-yard line. So Moon does his job, and the Eagles will have 90 yards in front of them after a 34-yard kick with 5:07 left to play in the third quarter.
keep our eye on the defensive unit as they come over to sit down and see what Bill Mitchell and the rest of the Carson Newman staff has to say to the defensive unit.
Edwin Lowry back in at quarterback, number 19. Alvin Thomas with nowhere to go. Might have even lost half a yard or so. Haven't heard from Alvin Thomas much since the first quarter.
Tiny Hutton told Mr. Thomas not to come over to his side of the field anymore right there.
Hutton out of Leesburg, Virginia, 6'5", 235.
He's not all that experienced of a player.
He's not all that tiny either.
He only had 4 tackles last year.
Gain of a half yard. Second down, we'll still call it 10. Lowry dumping off to Vernon Turner. Turner shakes a tackler and gets the first down to the 23-yard line. Nice play, Vernon Turner. Terry Boyd makes the tackle, a first down for the Eagles.
It's beginning to look as if they're going to have to pass to get the ball downfield. They haven't had much success on the ground. On the rollout, Lowry finds Vernon Turner, and then Turner just takes, I'm gonna mispronounce this, Dusanio, something like that. Sorry, Dave, but Vernon Turner gets the play.
Turner this time on the carry. Gets to about the 28-yard line. Terry Williams is there to make the tackle. And Joe, you always hear coaches talking about, at least offensive coaches talking about, if you can complete a pass or two, then that'll help you open up your ground game, and that is certainly very, very true. And as quick hitting an offense as the Veer is, if you can complete a pass here and there, then that'll open those Veer lanes up pretty quickly. Lowry this time goes deep, and he's got Mark Johnson, but a nice defensive play by B.J. Kisner. Mark Johnson was wide open, but Kisner steps in to knock the pass down.
There had to be some missed assignments there or something, because Maben and Kisner were both lost. Lowry threw the ball about 25, 30 yards, but it was behind his target, and therefore Mark Johnson couldn't make the catch. If he had made the catch, I don't think there would have been anything to stop him from going all the way.
So Kisner at the last second deflects it. Johnson can't grab it, and that brings on third down for the Eagles right at 6 yards to go. Nice job by Lowry getting rid of the football. That'll bring on fourth down, and Brent Hall will have to punt once more to Lou Maben.
Fairmont State, their defensive unit likes to put pressure in the backfield and keep you from making those plays like Edwin Lowry was able to get rid of the ball but was not able to complete the pass. They will put pressure in the backfield to stop that.
Hall dropped the snap but picked it up and gets a nice roll. Maben has fumbled the football at about the 28-yard line, and the Falcons recover. So the punter dropped it. The punt returner dropped it. The referee already has signaled that Fairmont State will have the football at the 29-yard line. Hall ended up with a 43-yard punt. And Fairmont State will have it first and 10 at the 29-yard line. 3:04 left to play in the third quarter. 10-10, nothing decided yet. Carson Newman got out 10-0. Fairmont State has come back to tie it. And the Falcons have it now on offense. This is Bo Dunn. And Dunn runs over a couple of Eagles and gets to about the 38-yard line. Bruce Ghisolini makes the tackle. A senior out of Redondo Beach, California is Ghisolini.
When you're as packed as Dunn is at 5'11", 220 pounds, it's tough to hit him high and expect to knock him down. he's also getting a lot of help from his offensive line, all kinds of huge holes, both on the left and the right side, and he was able to pick up the yardage there.
Second short, good passing down, and they've got it out there to Lang. Lang has the first down over the 40 to the 41-yard line. Steve Grauman was over there. Again, Grauman, a transfer out of Akron, hometown Cincinnati.
Lang comes up limping after that one. Not a lot of room for him to work over here. And Grauman and Leroy Mincy both there to keep him from going any further.
Didn't get a whole lot, but it got the first down for Fairmont State. And so the Falcons now will have it at their 42-yard line. 2 minutes now left in the period. Eagles showing blitz. A mix-up in the backfield, and the Falcons hang on to it at the 38-yard line. Leroy Mincy was in there. Grauman again was back there with a chance to get it for the Eagles, but quarterback Stolniker alertly got back on the ball. Coach Ken Sparks urging his defensive unit on, trying to stop Fairmont State so the Eagles can get some decent field position on offense.
Coach Sparks looks like a telephone repairman down there with all that equipment on his belt.
Second down, 13 yards now after the loss. Stolniker looking, and he's going to be sacked at the 35-yard line. Tom Wicks is in there. A marker is dropped, and this might go against Carson Newman. Grauman has his hands on his head saying, oh no. So from that, I'm going to say it's going to go against the Eagles, and it will. Personal foul. So that'll be an automatic first down for Fairmont State as they move the change, and here's a look at it.
Grauman met Stolniker head on. Oh, there's the personal foul when Bruce Ghisolini came in and obviously hit Stolniker late. Ghisolini is the best pass rusher on the Carson Newman team, but made a mistake there.
So Fairmont State at midfield has it first and 10. Less than a minute now in the third quarter. Overton is wrapped up by Grauman after a gain of about 1 yard. So Grauman beginning to assert himself defensively. Good size, 6'5", 250.
The defensive line of Carson Newman has the size advantage over Fairmont State's offensive line, but they're just now coming into their own, so to speak, where they're winning some of those battles on the line of scrimmage.
Gain of a yard, second down 9. Fairmont now in Carson Newman territory at the 49-yard line. Right up the middle again go the Falcons for a couple more.
Gary Lagging has done a lot of work in the offseason to become a better player, and he is showing it a little bit of it today.
That's the end of the third quarter. We're still tied. Carson Newman 10, Fairmont State 10. 15 minutes left.
WTVK and the Sports Center will soon be teaming up with CBS Sports. We're excited about joining the tradition and excitement of CBS Sports. For one thing, there's football, the NFL, and the best of college football. There's basketball, the NBA, and the NCAA. The Sports Center will keep the tradition alive with Carson Newman football and award-winning coverage of local sports. This fall, catch more sports action with WTVK and CBS Sports together.
My name is Elizabeth Ann James, but everybody at Food City calls me Mama's Little Helper. That's because I'm in charge of the shopping list. I cut it out of the paper for Mommy every week, so we save lots of money on groceries. That makes my daddy very happy. He says I'm smart as the Dickens. I don't know who the Dickens are, but I bet they shop at Food City, too.
Food City, for smart shoppers of all ages.
60 minutes, second by second, minute by minute, hour by hour, week by week, year by year. For more than 20 years, 60 minutes WTVK and CBS together.
For Western action and fun and adventure, watch Marshall Andy presents The Riders of the Silver Screen, Saturday mornings at 7 on WTVK.
All right, 1/4 of college football left. Carson Newman 10, Fairmont State 10. Falcons in white, trimmed in maroon with the football in Eagle territory now. 3rd down, 8 yards to go at the Eagle 47.5-yard line. Stollinger with a play fake, and that is well out of bounds to Lang. That'll bring on 4th down. Lang got tied up on the Eagle bench.
Lang comes out, rolls out to his right, and David Poole is sticking a little bit closer to Lang on that side of the field and takes him out of bounds to make it an incomplete pass.
So that'll bring on 4th down. Moon will again punt to David Poole. Poole yet to return it. They've been kicking away from him most of the day. Nearly a block, and this will be a chance for Poole, but he's corralled down there and is dropped after a couple of yards to the 12-yard line. David Poole, number 1. One of the fastest players on the field.
The Eagles gambled and went for the block, sent all their men in. Almost made the play, but not quite. And now they're going to have to begin from deep within their own territory.
36 yards on the punt. Edwin Lowry back in at quarterback for the Eagles. 14:45 left to play in the football game. Carson Newman 10, Fairmont State 10. Eagle offense has yet to get untracked most of the day, although in the first quarter they showed signs. Right up the middle, Alvin Thomas for about 4. That'll bring on 2nd down. Next week, Carson Newman will be on the road at Hillsdale, Michigan for a non-conference game with the Chargers. Fairmont State will be at home against Clarion. On the option play, Lowry keeps and gets to about the 20-yard line. Terry Boyd makes the tackle. And so, again, very quickly, it's 3rd down for the Eagles, right at 4 yards to go as Lowry looks for assistance from the Eagle sideline.
It looked as if Edwin got the ball caught on his hip as he was trying to go down the line and had to concentrate more on keeping the ball in his hand than picking up the yardage, and couldn't do it.
3rd down, let's call it 4. Eagles have 3 wideouts in the ballgame now. Alan Cox makes the catch for a 1st down, and Cox is wrestled down at the 27-yard line. John Crockett in there to make the tackle on Cox, who had the only touchdown for the Eagles in the first half on a 39-yard pass reception, and here it is again.
That was designed to Cox from the very onset, and he makes the great catch, but then Crockett wraps him up and sends him back on his back, and Carson Newman picks up the yardage out to the 28-yard line. Still a lot of work to be done.
Carson Newman still with 3 wideouts in there. Vernon Turner gets a block, tries to get to the outside, and fights to around the 32-yard line. Lou Mabin is over there to make the tackle with DeSanyo.
Tiny Hutton, you remember Tiny, 6'5", 235. He hit Edwin just as he pitched the ball to Vernon, but Vernon was still able to pick up some yardage, getting to the outside, almost got away from the tackle right there, but didn't have enough time and had to go down.
12.5 minutes left to play in the football game. 10-10. Alan Cox split wide to the bottom of your screen. Draw play to Alvin Thomas, and Thomas gets perhaps 4. DeSanyo is again in on the tackle. That's going to bring on 3rd down for the Eagles and about 2 yards to go. The Eagle Brain Trust on the sideline. That's Jay Floyd. Well, didn't stay with it long enough. One of the Eagle offensive linemen from last year, All-America player. Hard to replace a player like Jay Floyd. Third down, big play for Carson Newman. They're going to throw it, and it's incomplete. Lowry underthrows Cox to bring on fourth down. Cox was open. And again to punt, in goes Brent Hall.
Edwin hits himself on the helmet as he's coming off the field and thinks about what could have been.
Short kick by Hall. Maben makes the catch on the run. .33-yard punt by Hall. Gary Lagging is downfield for the Eagles to help in on the tackle. And so back and forth we go. Not a whole lot of action, but
something's going to have to break pretty soon. We're going to end up in a tie.
Carson Newman won last year 42-21 at Fairmont State. Right now it is dead even. Arnold around the left side, taken down by Catlett. Want to say hello to Joe, a good friend of ours, Jim Forbes, who's recovering from surgery in a Knoxville hospital. So, Jim, hope you're enjoying the ball game and get well soon, and Godspeed in your recovery.
We'll try and drop by to see you later on. Coach Deaton mentioned that the Carson Newman defense was having trouble containing the Fairmont State offense, and they got lost in formation problems, and it almost happened there. They got caught up on the inside, and Fairmont State was almost able to get outside.
Second and long, Overton gets to the corner momentarily to about the 41-yard line before Kevin Catlett runs him down. Forbes is one of those West Virginia boys, too.
He's probably pulling for Fairmont State.
Might be.
Not that that's bad.
Yeah, that's all right. There's Overton. Boy, he's been busy today.
Very busy. They keep their running backs busy. 1,500 yards last year for these three guys, Overton, Arnold, and Dunn.
Stolniker wants timeout with 10 minutes, 21 seconds to go. So as they take timeout, we take timeout. A little over 10 minutes to go. We're still tied. Carson Newman 10, Fairmont State 10.
The stars are going to shine. WTVK and the Knoxville News Sentinel bring you the Tennessee Valley Fair 7th Regional Youth Talent Contest. Friday, September 9th at 8 p.m., see the area's best young talent compete from the Tennessee Valley Fair live on WTVK. The first place winner will be invited to compete in the Youth Talent International in Memphis. From there, the sky's the limit. So shine like never before with the News Sentinel and WTVK.
Hi, I'm Vern Lindsay with Lindsay Ward, the electronics store. It's amazing how some electronics stores try to brainwash you. They spend over $1 million on advertising to make you think you're getting the best deal. Believe me, it's no deal if it's not a quality product, no matter how low the price. At Lindsay Ward, we earn your business by providing quality, not by spending $1 million on advertising. Quality products and quality service at competitive prices. That's what Lindsay Ward is all about.
Lindsay Ward, the electronics store.
Coach Ken Sparks not in the headset. That's Bill Mitchell, but Sparks on the other side trying to figure out what he can do to get his team on top. 10:20 to go in the ball game. Third down now for Fairmont State, about 4 yards to go. Arnold does not get the first down. Kevin Catlett with his third straight tackle to bring on fourth down for the Falcons. And again, Joe, here's Kevin Catlett.
The man who didn't get a lot of, wasn't expected to get a lot of playing time last year, came in, did the job. And once he did the job last year, Coach Sparks said, hey, Kevin, you're going to have to do it again this year. And so far, it's still early, but he's doing the job right now.
Gordon with a low snap. High punt. Poole makes the catch at the 25-yard line where a marker is dropped. Fairmont State might have been too close to the punt returner. You have to give him a cushion. 32-yard kick by Gordon Moon.
I think the call will go against Keith Whitaker. I think once he got down into that area, he didn't realize that The ball was actually going to be right in that area, and before he knew it, he was in bad shape and suffered a penalty, a 5-yard penalty for Fairmont, and now the Eagles will start out on their 31-yard line. David Poole, returning those kicks, only has been able to return one, not getting very much of an opportunity to run the ball.
Play fake. Johnson is open downfield, and Lowry can't find him. Johnson had a step momentarily, but then the cushion shrank. There's a marker down again. There's a look at Mark Johnson, number 85 for Carson Newman. He was the other Johnson last year. Mark Johnson, a junior out of Knoxville. He played along with Pat Johnson, who, of course, was one of the outstanding players on the Eagles squad.
Mark Johnson started moving towards the inside of the field once that ball was thrown. Had he kept going straight downfield, he would have had a better angle on the play, on the ball, and would have had his defender beat just a little bit better, but the pass was still overthrown, and all of that was for naught because of the penalty. And Carson Newman is back on its 16 now.
There's a look at Charlie Cole warming up on the sideline, number 4, a junior out of Morristown. He's played a couple of plays, and when he was in there, he threw it. Penalty against the Eagles will bring it all the way back to the 16-yard line and bring on second down right at 25 yards to go with 9:38 to go in the ballgame. Splitting left now is David Poole. David Poole's in the lineup. Now he plays cornerback. He's number 1 down here, and they're going to work a screen to him in the middle. And look out for David Poole. They'll never catch him. David Poole has too much speed. Deserves one more try.
I'll credit you with this one, Stan. You called it a few seconds earlier. You said if they bring David Poole in on offense, watch out. They do it. Poole never even started downfield, came back to the middle. Edwin hit him coming across the middle, and from then on, once he found his hole, it was Katie bar the door because no one was going to catch Poole as he goes all the way 84 yards for the touchdown. Carson Newman, after the p.a.t, now leads 17-10.
Wetzel, number 3, puts it through the uprights. Last year, you talk about the home run hitter, Kenneth Tyson, with his outstanding speed. David Poole has that kind of speed. The only problem is he plays on the defensive side of the football, and Coach Sparks told me before the ballgame they were going to try and perhaps work Poole into their offensive scheme. They bring him in for one play, and he goes the distance for the touchdown, and Eagles are up by 7, and with the way the ball game has been going, Joe, Fairmont State's going to have to perhaps put it in the air himself. We've got another look at this now. David Poole coming across the middle to make the catch.
We talked about Poole's ability in the secondary defensively. Here's a little offensive display of action. Coach Sparks might want to think about bringing him over to wide receiver with his speed and obviously his good hands. He knows the position, having defended against it. And this is just a great athletic play by David Poole. One thing that Carson Newman fans might want to get used to is seeing this kind of football where it's 4 plays maybe in a punt, or where they have to work, they have to be a good team and be good players, and maybe they aren't always going to get that big play.
Kickoff on the way downfield, and Joel Shaughnessy will take it to the far side, and Shaughnessy gets wrapped up at about the 18-yard line. Lagging again was downfield for the Eagles. Got a hand in on the tackle. And so Fairmont State now, with 9 minutes and 16 seconds left to play in the game, has to try and come from behind again. Carson Newman opened up a 10-0 lead before the Falcons came back to even it at 10. But again, on the last play from scrimmage, the Eagles ran a middle screen to their cornerback, David Poole, who went the distance for the touchdown, 84 yards. Not much at all that time for the Falcons. They might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, that Eagle front. A lot of folks in there. There's David Poole, number 1.
The Eagles,
Cincinnati, Ohio.
The Eagles showed a little bit of flash when they brought Poole into the offense. Watch Fairmont State. They might do the same thing. They have a hard offense to read anyway, and they do a lot of different things out of their wing tee, so you never know what you might see here.
Stolniker again is a freshman quarterback. This is his first collegiate game. And he's got his tight end, that's Boyd Northrup. Northrup hauls it in for a first down before Dallas Coleman makes the hit. Coleman, a senior out of Halifax, Virginia, giving David Poole a rest at cornerback.
Coleman was kind of caught in a bad spot there. He had one guy to his left, one guy to his right. Both of them needed to be covered. And before anything could be done, the pass was caught by Northrup. But Coleman made a good stick and good hit on Northrup at the 41-yard line. Excuse me, 37.
Stolniker looks over the Eagle defense. Overton met right away on the corner. David Poole back in the ball game.
Buford Perkins was out there. There again, 6'4", 320 pounds. Has enough speed and agility to get to the outside.
Second down 9 upcoming now for Fairmont State. The Falcons at their 38-yard line. 7.5 minutes left to play. Always in motion. This is Arnold. Stolniker can't hook up with Overton. That'll stop the clock and bring on third down for Fairmont State. Fairmont State in the ballgame last year had success throwing the ball against the Eagles, hit them in the seams a couple of times for long plays. Haven't quite had the success today.
Overton is the Falcons' leading rusher from last year, of course. He's also the second leading pass receiver. He caught 15. The number 1 pass receiver, though, caught 75 last year.
Big down for Fairmont. Third down 9. Stolniker over the middle, and he's got Northrup in Eagle territory at the 49-yard line and a first down. Big Boyd Northrup, 6'5", 225, out of Anderson, South Carolina.
Last year, the Falcons were able to find the seams in the Carson Newman defense, and they're starting to do a little bit of that now. On the rollout, Stolniker throws back across his body to Northrup for a good pickup. They're now in Eagle territory.
Less than 7 minutes now. Good stick in the middle by the Eagle defense. Kevin Catlett and Leroy Mincy. Great, the Fairmont State running back. Let's go down to Jamie Tucker. Jamie.
Okay, thanks a lot, Stan. Just overheard Coach Ken Sparks tell Fernando Hamilton, Charlie Cole, and Buster Goins to warm up. Now, that could mean that we'll see Charlie Cole coming back in for Edwin Lowry like he did in the first half. We may see Buster Goins run the ball, something that Coach Sparks knows he can do. Back to you.
Of course, Goins, a true freshman. Second down 9 for Fairmont State. Stolniker can't find Lang on the corner. David Poole over there to break it up. David Poole, Joe, it's obvious, one of the best athletes on the field.
That was a good defensive play by Poole. When Lang made his stutter step and then his cut to the outside, he was kind of slow. Poole never moved, just waited for the opportunity and saw it happen and was there to make the play at the sideline.
So that brings on third down for Fairmont State. 6 minutes to go, and if you're Coach Wally Hood, although you want to get in the end zone, you don't want to panic. There's still 6 minutes of football left, and in college football, as you know, that is an eternity. Stolniker in trouble, and he's going to get sacked at the 47-yard line. Fred Bennett and Buford Perkins, both in on the tackle. That's 620 pounds right on you. Ouch. And so Moon will again punt. As you see the last play, nowhere to go. And almost a bad snap. A low liner, and Poole will never get a shot at that one. And the Eagles will be backed up to about the 5-yard line. So what looked initially like a bad punt by Gordon Moon ends up pretty good. 48 yards on the roll, and the Eagles will have it at the 5, Joe, where a mistake cannot be made.
No, they certainly don't want to lose the ball down in that area. And as Jamie mentioned a few seconds ago, true to form, Buster Goins is in the game. Never having played in the backfield, back in the Carson Newman deep territory, it could be a different situation for him. And I'm not sure I would want to put a freshman who has never played before back in that kind of field position.
Charlie Cole is in at quarterback as well. Greg Greer remains the center. Handoff Fernando Hamilton, and Fernando Hamilton gets over the 12-yard line to give the Eagles a little breathing room. Fernando, a junior out of Cincinnati, 5'9", 195 pounds.
Eagle style. Fernando's another one of those players that last year was stuck behind Kenneth Tyson and also behind Alvin Thomas and Vernon Turner, but he had a good year in '87 and a great spring and made a lot of improvements in various areas in technique and things like that. And so now he might be a factor for the Eagles this year.
Second down for the Eagles, about 3.5 now. Carson Newman wants to chew up a little bit of the clock. Buster Goins on the carry, not much there, a yard or two maybe. Ball is loose, but it was marked down. You talked about Greg Greer remaining at center. Mike Turner said that the Eagles have 6 offensive linemen that will play pretty much the entire time, so they don't get a break during a ball game much. And he said the first scrimmage, for instance, the first offensive unit, the first offensive line unit, went about 54 plays without a water break. And that's not the coaches telling him you can't have water. That's the offensive line saying, hey, we're not going to have a lot of relief this year, and so we're going to have to be in good shape. So they're working on it themselves. Fernando Hamilton, markers are thrown, gets out to about the 16-yard line, and it looks like it might be a first down, but again, markers are down. 3 minutes, 51 seconds left to play in the football game. Carson Newman 17, Fairmont State 10.
I think there's a reason Coach Turner was working hard at keeping his offensive line in shape and ready to play at all times. Behind the second team consists of at least 3 freshmen, Tim Custer, Kenny Crook, and Brian Dotson, and Paige Belcher is only a sophomore, so they got some young guys behind them that they need to be careful of.
And Belcher is the injured player down on the field at the 15-yard line. He's a sophomore out of Columbia, South Carolina.
A former Clemson Tiger.
He is now up and coming off, so apparently he's all right. So it's now for the Eagles, 3rd down and right at 8 yards to go. The Eagles need to get it to about their own 16-yard line. They're on the 8. 7-yard line. Cole is wrapped up for a safety. That play happened very quickly as Cole is wrapped up in the end zone. Ken Orvik makes the tackle on Cole, so now the Eagles trail 17-12, and they've got to get rid of the football.
Orvik was not fooled for 1 second on that play, and he was able to make the safety.
It's interesting now, a 5-point difference, and Fairmont State will get the football when we return.
Hi, I'm Meshach Taylor of Designing Women. We're coming to Channel 26 on September 10th. Don't miss us.
At other optical stores, making glasses fast means making easy prescriptions.
But at LensCrafters, our in-store labs can custom craft even difficult prescriptions in about an hour.
The LensCrafters made my bifocals in 45 minutes.
And what I like is you get them in just about an hour.
I think LensCrafters give you top quality.
At LensCrafters, fast means even difficult prescriptions in about an hour.
LensCrafters, custom-crafted eyeglasses in about an hour. Easttown Mall and now in Westtown Mall next to Penny's. Open Sundays.
You can get it now at Rainbow Rentals. You think you can't afford it, but you really can. We've got the solution. We've got the plan. You can do it today. We can show you the way. You can rent to own. You can take it on home. You can get it now at Rainbow Rentals.
On September 10th, WTVK joins CBS. It's a partnership committed to more news. The News Center and CBS News together. Join us.
Senior Ken Orvek completes his assignment, steps across the line for containment, and then finds himself an acorn as he makes the sack in the end zone for the safety. And now it gets very interesting with the 5-point game, as you mentioned, and now Fairmont State has the ball.
After the safety, the Eagles will have to kick it away. They've decided to use the tee. Wetzel kicking downfield to Arnold. And Arnold gets out to about the 38-yard line, where Fairmont State will have 3 minutes and 25 seconds with which to work. And right now, a touchdown wins the game at 18-17.
Watch Dallas Coleman come into the screen and run right by the ball carrier. If he had slowed down a little bit, maybe he could have made the play a few yards back, but instead they bring it out to the 37-yard line, and that's pretty good field position with 3 minutes to play.
Long count by Stolniker. Not much there, perhaps a yard, maybe two for Fairmont State. Bo Dunn on the carry. There's a look at Chris Dyer, one of our cameramen. This is his last assignment. Chris will be moving on to be a fireman. And Chris, good luck to you. It's been fun working with you. Stolniker on a play fake. Bennett is over there. Stolniker gets out, and finally Perkins wraps him up at about the 42-yard line. That'll bring on third down for Fairmont State. More importantly for the Eagles, Joe, the clock continues to roll.
That might have been a little bit of an inexperience on Stolniker's part. He rolled out. Instead of trying to get rid of the ball or getting to the sideline, he tried to take it up and go up the middle, and the clock still runs, and he didn't get anywhere.
There's a quick pass out to Arnold. Fishback was all over it. That'll bring on fourth down, and you have to go for the first.
Bruce Lang, the split end on that side, missed his block on Fishback, and Joe came up and made the play. 4th and 4, a very long 4. This, we might want to say this is the game.
Fourth down, 4 yards to go. Fairmont State trailing by 5 at its own 44-yard line. Across the middle, and Northrop has the first down in Eagle territory at the 47-yard line. Alan Brown nearly in position to make the defensive play, but Northrop makes the catch, and Fairmont State still has a chance with 1:32 to go. And here's another look as Northrop, Joe, again, right over the middle.
They've used him well during this game. His size and his agility makes it very advantageous for them to hit him in the middle. He, of course, is an all-West Virginia Intercollegiate Athletic Conference pick last year and doing the job so far.
Fairmont State has one timeout left. Stolniker going deep over the middle, and it's incomplete. Lang was well covered by Poole and Schlechter. Joe Fishback also back there helping out. That'll stop the clock with 1:07 to go, and Joe Lang just underthrew his receiver. I should say Stolniker.
Well, it's almost as if Lang stopped a few minutes because he didn't have any room behind Schlechter and Poole, so he had to slow up a little bit. And when he did that, the ball just kept going, and they didn't make the completion, and now it's all over. Now it's 2nd and 10.
Fairmont State has asked for its last timeout with 1:07 left to play. Carson Newman leads Fairmont State 17-12. Quite a bit different from the show these two put on last year when the Eagles, after a 14-14 tie in the first quarter, went on to win 42-21 at Fairmont State.
A little different situation this year. Last year, you knew that Carson Newman had a very, very potent offense, and Fairmont State obviously were able to score the ball as well. This year, Fairmont State has a strong defense. Matter of fact, as they list their strengths and weaknesses for the team, a strength is their defensive line, a strength is their linebackers, a strength is their defensive secondary. I don't see how a defense can get any stronger than that. Carson Newman, their defensive secondary is strong as well, and it's more of a defensive battle because neither team has the breakaway stars they had last year on offense.
Our next Carson Newman telecast will be on September 17th, right here at Berktar Stadium as Carson Newman takes on Wingate. That'll be at 11 a.m. on Saturday, September the 17th. So we invite you to be here with us. 2nd down 10 for Fairmont State. The Falcons have the football at the Eagle 47-yard line. 67 seconds left to play in the game. And Carson Newman clings to a 5-point lead. The Eagles a little softer now in the defensive secondary. Stolniker over the middle has Lang at the 36-yard line for what appears to be a first down. They'll stop the clock to spot the ball. 55 seconds to go.
Stolniker had all day on that pass play. Lang went about 10 yards out and turned around, and it was a couple seconds before David Poole was there, and a couple seconds before Stolniker threw the ball.
A field goal won't do it. The Falcons need 6. Stolniker is sacked at the 40-yard line. Tom Wicks from Goodview, Virginia, number 95, in there to make the tackle. A loss of about 4 yards, 33 seconds to go. A quick hook up to Lang, and Lang is taken out of bounds at the 35-yard line by David Poole to stop the clock with 26 seconds to go. That's been a pretty good battle all day. For a while there, Joe, Lang was working on Dixon, and now the Eagles have Poole over there on Lang.
Poole, as we've mentioned a couple different times, is the best athlete and probably the best coverage man in the secondary, and they obviously want him working on Lang, who has been the main target for Stolniker all afternoon.
Third down 9 for the Falcons, and Stolniker hooks up with Lang at the 28-yard line. I don't know whether they called it complete or a fumble. Looks like they called it a complete pass, then Lang fumbled it out of bounds at the 30-yard line. It'll be 4th for Fairmont State as we look at it one more time.
Stolniker made a good effort to get that ball off with Steve Graham at his feet, and then it was a good catch by Lang, and I think it was a catch. I don't think there's, he had the ball in his hands, in my opinion, and the ball rolled out of bounds, so now they're at the 30-yard line, but they have to get a lot closer.
All right, if Fairmont State doesn't get at least 4 yards, the ball game will in all likelihood be over. Stolniker going deep, and it's picked off by Schlechter. Schlechter out to the 20-yard line with 9 seconds left in the football game.
Ron Stolniker is walking off the field somewhat dejectedly. I don't think his performance today, he needs to feel bad about it. It's just on this particular play, he must have missed the assignment or missed his receiver because that was way overthrown. There was no one anywhere near the ball except Schlechter, and it was an easy grab for him, and just lay down now with 9 seconds left. Go for the win.
That should do it. As the clock winds down and the Eagles hang on and win their season opener of 1988 to go to 1-0. Fairmont State drops down to 0-1. A good effort, though, by the Falcons on the road here at Berktar Stadium. Not the easiest place to play if you look at Carson Newman's record here since 1980.
I don't think they have anything to feel bad about. They played a good game. Carson Newman, both teams, as you would expect in the first game of the season, made some mistakes, but there were some good points, and both teams played hard. Now they can just chalk this one up and go back, and both teams can improve on the areas in which they need to and go on to their next game.
Coach Ken Sparks in the center of the field greeting some of the Falcon players who gave a good effort. They came from behind to tie the ball game at 10-10, and then were forced to come from behind once more, Joe, and they almost pulled it off.
Stallnecker did a good job in the end of taking them downfield and just fell a little bit short. A good work by Bruce Lang. Boyd Northrup, I thought, did a fine job at tight end, and of course Overton, Arnold, Dunn, the running backs, they speak for themselves. Their performance on the field today, late in the game as well as throughout, almost brought them a victory.
So Ken Sparks walks off the field with his 70th victory at Carson Newman against 26 losses and a tie. Coach Wally Hood for the Falcons in his 5th year now, with a record of 25-16. And again, a ball game that saw the Eagles jump up top in the first quarter, 10-0, before Fairmont State came back to tie it at 10-10. And then the Eagles used, well, it wasn't a trick play necessarily. It was a simple middle screen. But the fact that they used David Poole, who is a starter in the secondary, and there is David Poole. But Poole has outstanding speed, about 4.3 in the 40, unless he's gotten any faster. And they brought Poole in and ran the middle screen and made the catch, broke a couple of tackles, and raced 84 yards for the touchdown. So that is the end of the football game with the final score. Carson Newman 17, Fairmont State 12.
Introducing a light potato chip with a country fresh flavor. New Pringles Light Ranch. And guess what it's missing?
A lot of the fat in their regular potato chips. But you'll never miss it.
And it's missing a lot of their salt. But you won't miss it.
New Pringles Light Ranch, made with sour cream, buttermilk, and herbs for so much country fresh flavor.
You'll never miss what's missing.
The Knoxville Cowboy.
Hi, this is Marshall Andy, the Knoxville Cowboy. For Western fun and adventure, watch The Riders of the Silver Screen Saturday morning at 7 on WTVK. I'll have interviews with big stars like Eddie Arnold, Roy Acuff, Ben Johnson, and I'll have some action-packed movies, too. So round up all your friends to watch Marshall Andy Presents The Riders of the Silver Screen Saturday morning at 7 on WTVK.
And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gary Weiss. The ball game in Jefferson City is over, and it was a pretty good game. And pretty soon, Stan Cotton gives you the 5th quarter with Coach Ken Sparks. That is coming up. But for now, let's talk Tennessee football. The Volunteers are resting up right now, watching the clock and waiting for their season opener. What an opener it should be. Tennessee against the Georgia Bulldogs. Vince Dooley's Dogs are ranked number 12 in the country. Tennessee comes in at number 18, hoping to move up on the AP charts. We know about the Volunteers. Here's Rick Russo to give you the other side of the story.
Just how strong are the 88 Bulldogs? Can Georgia win the conference title?